Welcome everybody to our latest session of Scarlet Citadel. Quick note for anybody following along, unfortunately last week's session, even though we had a session, was not captured correctly in the recording due to a bug on Roll20's side. There's an issue right now where certain platforms, certain devices are using a ton of CPU due to this most recent release that they pushed out Windows and now just today doors, and that's causing some of us some issues. So hopefully they've done some tweaks now and we won't have another crash today, but fingers crossed. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, we will do what we normally do here, which is to jump into a quick recap and then get underway with our session. So team, you guys will likely recall that when we picked up last week, you guys were exiting Grady's grandfather's cabin. You had made your way here in order to search for this puzzle box and did find it, and then had this sort of encounter with these large elks and kind of just started making your way away from Grady's cabin when we ended the previous session. So when we picked up last session, you guys continued on your way crossing overland looking for this cave that Grady had explained his grandfather had made this deal or pact with some type of entity there many years ago. And he had explained that his grandfather told him that if he was ever to get his hands on this puzzle box and open it and then take the item inside back to this cave, the deal would be complete and he would be rewarded. So this was obviously very much in myth as far as all of this different stuff that's going on, a lot of rumor, a lot of innuendo, a lot of hearsay, all of that fun stuff that you guys were relying on as you made your way across land. As you were making your way across land, you found yourself hearing some sounds which were sort of like these strange animalistic cackling that was coming from your west over this strange bit of elevation, so kind of like rolling hills you could think of it as. And group, you were sort of on the edge there trying to decide what to do. Did you go around them? Did you go through them? Hard to say exactly. Eventually you started kind of making your way a bit closer and discovered that there was a group of gnolls here. Some players may have recognized the gnolls, others perhaps not, but these are essentially hyena men that stand on 2 feet and strike out using their ferocity, and in particular here they were taking advantage of the elevation as several of them had bows. So the group made their way trying to get a bit closer. A lot of visual obstructions in this map. We had the trees, we had the elevation, and this was a bit challenging for our team to navigate, get into a good ideal spot. And of course, because some of the gnolls with bows who were up higher in elevation had easier times firing down upon the team. Eventually the team, through use of tactics and some special abilities and some spells, were able to whittle the gnolls down and then eventually defeat them outright. The team had suffered some wounds here, but nobody was on death's door, just a bit wounded. So the group continued on their way after a bit of time spent here and made their way further west following Grady as he searched for this cave. He had also explained that he didn't know exactly where the cave was, but there was sort of a landmark, which was this statue. And he said once he found the statue, then he'd be able to get to the cave based on this information from his grandfather. So you guys continue making your way here and eventually found that there was like a glade, and it was very much shrouded in darkness. So even though it was still somewhat light out and you guys made your way into this glade, there was areas where the sun could peek through this very heavy foliage, but other areas not so much. So it was a kind of a strange twilighty type atmosphere where there was some light that did indeed fall down on the statue. And after some questions, Grady explained that this statue was known as the statue of the Weeping Mother. He had explained that this statue reflected one of the old deities, and it was said that it was built here and cried for fallen soldiers in battles past. He seemed to take a lot of honor in this area, was very respectful of this place, and even kind of did some tidying up and cleaning up around the statue. And some of you guys asked some questions of him, and he tried to explain what he could. Others of you perhaps did not necessarily fully trust what he was doing here, as he seemed like maybe this was a little bit odd or strange behavior for him to be like caretaking this area. But eventually you guys had a discussion about whether to push on from here or rest before making your way to where this cave was, whether this entity was going to be. So a group eventually took a vote and ultimately decided to continue moving on towards this cave. As the group got a bit closer here, approaching the cave itself, breaking through the trees, there was a bit of a clearing and a little bit of an overhang, and on the other side of that overhang was the cave itself. So as the group made their way around the side of this overhang and started looking inside of the cave, it didn't look anything special, especially when the team members were close with light. But an odd effect was noticed is that when light wasn't being cast directly on the interior of this cave, it had kind of a strange silhouette darkness effect. Eventually, the group was able to get closer and kind of investigate this a bit more, and was able to speak with, because first having spotted this strange being that seemed to be clutching onto the ceiling of this cave, but again only visible when it was actually dark in there. If light was brought inside, it seemed as though the figure was gone. So the group continued again discussing what to do next, eventually decided to have Grady open the puzzle box, and he tried, but he was having a whole lot of challenges getting it open. There was some debate about whether or not Penn should reveal that he actually had the cloth from before, the pouch that actually had the instructions inside about how to open the box. But this was, yeah, he seemed like perhaps he didn't want to reveal this information in the presence of Grady. Eventually, the box was handed over to a couple of different people trying to open it. I want to say it was Harmony that ultimately was able to open it, though it was very much down to the wire as she was having some challenges, and it was only through a stroke of good luck right at the end there that the box was able to be opened and the talisman from inside was extracted. Grady did eventually take the talisman in and sort of look around. This shape seemed to drop from the ceiling, splitting the group from Grady and sort of engaging with him in chat. It was hard to tell exactly what the shape's intentions were, what it was doing, any of those kind of things. Grady tried to speak to it as best he could, and it seemed as though the shape actually reached out, touching upon Grady, and he then dropped to the ground. The shape sort of turned around and made this kind of gesture and spoke in this very corpse whispery voice, asking who wanted to receive the gift, and it seemed as though there was some hesitation on the group at that point, sort of backing away, not really sure what was going on here, and eventually the shape leapt back to the ceiling and then was very difficult to pin down visually. The group came up with a couple of different ideas here, again some casting light inside and then realizing there was nothing in there when that was the case. As the group tried to pull Grady out of this small cave, it was determined that his body seemed to be completely drained of all of its moisture, and it was very easy to putting any kind of pressure on his body to basically just crush that and turn it into a dust. The group did manage to get most of Grady's body out and tried to examine him further. I believe someone hit his head and exploded his head, and eventually his body was chucked back into the cave itself, and there was a lot of back and forth here as far as what was going on. Grass tried to claim the gift from this. Mostly he was trying to get other people to claim the gift, but it seemed as though the shape was not really engaging in conversation anymore, and again it was really hard to pinpoint if it was even still there. Eventually the group noticed after some analyzing of this situation that those that actually had walked into the cave during this time trying to figure things out, when they moved away from the cave, their shadows actually remained out front staring into the cave. And this was very disconcerting to the group, the three that were affected. And eventually we had Hugo, who started making his way away from the cave, more up onto the rise above the cave, and the rest of the group still down below noticed that when he did this, his shadow actually walked into the cave. Hugo himself was able to feel a bit of a pull, as though something was pulled out of him when the shadow fully went into the cave. The other two members who were affected, which was Grask and Renaud, we're going to do the French pronunciation probably, but looking inside, had to have this discussion once again about how to get out of this situation, and both tried to remain awake until the morning time to see if maybe this would have some kind of effect. Unfortunately, Grask was not able to stay awake, and as he actually fell asleep, his shadow then walked into the cave, very similarly to what happened to Hugo, noticing this pull. Renaud, I think that's how he actually says it, was able to remain outside until morning, clutching on to his strength here to stay awake until the sunlight rose. And once the sunlight rose and cast on the shadow of his that was actually standing out front of the cave, it seemed to dispel it, and he had his shadow back then. So with this very strange occurrence happening, the group decided to cut their losses and started making their way back to the village of Red Tower. So team, that's our quick recap. Is there anything anybody would like to add to our recap there that I may have missed? Alrighty, hearing nothing, I will assume that is sufficient. And group, you guys have made your way back to the village of Red Tower and find yourself entering and returning back to this location that you've been many times now. I would imagine it's been probably another day of traveling back. You guys make your way back into the village, probably spend part of the day in the Cage Tavern and Inn, resting and relaxing before you'll notice all of you received a long rest. So obviously you guys would have slept overnight here and have an opportunity to take in any other type of tasks that you might wish to do before ultimately making your way back to the Scarlet Citadel. One quick note for players, in game I have added a new folder called plot hooks, a little bit meta here, but under the plot hooks, as things come up, I know not everybody's going to have the memory to recall all of these different little side things, or there may be times where you're not sure if something was just mentioned in passing or if this is something you can actually follow up on. So when there's more sort of content to something, I will try to add it under there as a plot hook. And it's, again, all of these should be considered to be completely optional. If you wish to follow up on them, great. If you don't, no problem. And I've added it where you all have access to these plot hooks, so you can feel free to add your own notes to it if you wish. I would recommend you put your name in front of any note that you add, just so everybody knows who's adding what content. Any questions on that, guys?
I'm noticing there's not a plot hook for the Scarlet Citadel, so we solved that one?
Yes, it's totally... No, that's obviously the central focus, so we won't have that as a plot hook. Alright team, with no other questions then, yes, group, you find yourself inside the Cage Tavern and Inn. It is a fairly busy day here, as you guys have gotten a long rest in the night before. Wake up in the morning, perhaps take care of some odds and end tasks that you wish to, and find yourself once again at your table here, grabbing some breakfast that is served to you from Ambrosi, some of the waitresses inside here. And you also notice, before too long, Sebastian makes his way down the stairs and seems to be talking to Ambrosi at the counter. He sees you guys and gives you that friendly wave of recognition and kind of motions like, yeah, I'll be over there in a bit, but seems for now to be speaking with Ambrosi.
That lucky bastard, he's still got his shadow.
Maybe that's a good thing.
You felt it. I don't know, for me it felt like I lost something. I might want to talk to some of the, I don't know, religious types around here. See if anyone knows anything about this type of thing.
I think you'll probably be alright talking to like a cleric or some kind of holy priest. Maybe they can help you. I do got this bag of gems. Remember, we found it at Grady's cabin. You think we should try to sell them to Ambrosi?
Yeah, they're all different colors, right? I was just wondering if there's some significance to that.
All I've done is just look at them inside of the bag. I ain't really taking them out of nothing.
I mean, I just want to make sure they're not used for something else, but if not, if it doesn't seem like that, let's get some loot out of this for once.
I have the equipment from the cabin to sell.
You mean all of those furs you're carrying around?
The furs and the weapons from the gnolls.
Maybe that smithy will take on those weapons.
I mean, Ambrosi might even buy him right here if you want to offer it to him.
You know, I'm not really that great at detecting magical items or anything about these gemstones, Hugo, so I honestly don't quite know if they're anything more valuable than just coinage.
Adam, is it possible for me to look at the gemstones just to make sure they're not like carved all perfectly identical or anything like that?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and give me a blind check as you examine these gems. And to clarify, these are the gems that you found in Grady's grandfather's cabin in the secret compartment on the ground, correct?
Yeah, the one that shot me with that dart.
All right, perfect. So yeah, Hugo, you take a look at these. Nothing about them is obviously magical in any way. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. You get the impression that these are just some precious gemstones. Taking a good eye at them, you would imagine all together here you might be able to get somewhere between 200-300 gold pieces for selling these.
I think they're worth probably about 300 gold, at least to my eye.
Well, why don't you take them up there and see if you can sell them then? Since you kind of know their cost. We'll split it like normal.
If nobody feels particularly bartery. So Hugo will take the pouch. And I'll go up to Rosie.
I can try and barter if you wish.
Are you good at it? I've never been much of a haggler.
Sometimes I can certainly try, at least.
All right, there you go. I hand him the bag.
What did you estimate these were worth?
Like 200 to 300 or so. I'd go for 3. But you might ask him what he's willing to give you first, because our departed friend, he told us that Ambrosi actually gave him more money than he asked for because the thing was worth more. So he's pretty straightforward.
I see. Let me see what I can do.
Wait. The belts.
Bresk?
The furs. The hunting trap.
Well, why don't you bring it all over here and we will post them up like a proper trader.
I'll follow.
Ambrosi, do you have a moment?
As you make your way up to the counter, you see Sebastian sort of nodding towards Ambrosi, and he says, yeah, she was the one with the red hair. Yeah, she was very flowery and pushing it back, and everybody was staring at her. And you say, yes. And you see Ambrosi looks towards you all. I'm glad for the interruption. Sebastian, perhaps you wish to go join your friends at the table? Yes, I suppose. The story can wait till another time. And you see he kind of pushes off and taps you on the shoulder there, Grass, because he starts making his way over, and you hear him say, "On drink!" And he orders an ale as he's making his way to the table to join the others. As Ambrosi just like, and then looks towards you guys. Welcome back. I hope your travels were well.
I think we did all right for ourselves somewhat. I think Pranad unconsciously looks at Grass' lack of shadow right now. We did come across a few things that you may wish to purchase. It sounds like you had some sort of a repertoire that you had built up with this group that I've found myself in.
I'm known to purchase some things. Venturers to the Scarlet Citadel, well, they tend to pull out all sorts of oddities. They always need somewhere to clear the loot, as they say. Let's see what you got there.
Here are some gems. My scaly friend has some pelts and a rug.
Gems, yes. And you see him kind of opening the bag and picking through them, pulling one out here and there. Seems as though you've got yourself something fairly valuable here. What were you hoping to get for these gems?
If you'll forgive us laymen, and I don't think any of our group is a jeweler, but we estimated that perhaps the high end would be 300 gold. Do you have a opinion that you'd be willing to share?
Maybe. I suppose the right people come by, I might be able to do that. Why don't we call it 275? That way, in case it takes me a while to sell these, I can still make a little bit of profit.
As that is close to the high end we were thinking, I think that is very agreeable. Thank you, Ambrosi. What do you think of these furs here?
You see he kind of cocks an eyebrow. Furs, as he's counting out coins from underneath and slides your gems over to his side. He will put this coin bag in front of you and kind of shove it off, making sure to clear that first transaction before he eyes the furs. Well, to be honest, there's not much I can do with the furs. Perhaps if you head out to the fur guy outside of town, he might be willing to take these off your hands.
The fur?
Yeah, it's a fur tanner or something like that. I forget what he calls himself.
All right, we will go and see to him. Do you want this bear trap or this hunting trap?
Hunting trap I probably could use. Let me take a look. And you see him kind of like examining it and looking to see how well it's working at the moment, checking for signs of any rust. This is not in the best shape. I give you maybe 5 gold for it.
Sold.
Alright, you see he counts out 5 more coins and slides those over your way as he pulls up the hunting trap, sets it down below.
Alright, I think that is the main things that we have that you would be interested in. We will go try the tanner to see if he will buy these furs. Thank you, Ambrosi. We appreciate it.
He nods his head and says, yes, bring back whatever you find anytime. Try to do what I can. Good luck.
Renan will take the pouch of gold coins and go and just kind of plop it down at the table with everyone, and then he'll say, it seems we must go to another place to sell the furs, so perhaps Grask and I will go and do that.
I'll come with you on that one.
All right. One of you watch the coins. We'll be back.
I'll watch the coins.
And I'll watch you go.
And I'll watch you. We're going now.
All right, so we've got Renaud and we've got Elliot making their way out of the Cage Tavern and Inn and heading over to the Fur Tanner.
Grass is going to. He's carrying the stuff.
Grask as well. Okay.
Pack mule, pack lizard.
Pack lizard.
It might be easier to sell the weapons first, if the fur person doesn't want them.
Well, I think we got to pass the smithy to get to the tanner, or something along those lines. But yeah, we'll figure it out. They're in the same area.
All right, so you guys start making your way through town. Once again, cutting through that central area as you're keeping your eyes open, but not too aware, because it's essentially a place of safety. You notice that you don't spot any of the recent visitors to town, those sort of guards or soldiers that seem to have been looking for Grady. Whether they're around somewhere and just not in sight, or they have left, is hard to say. You guys make your way past the temple here, and also make your way past Matilda's home. It looks like she is still inside as you make your way across this bridge here, getting outside of the village. You do notice that the tent that was previously up from the trader that you had spoken to a couple times seems to be gone, and there's no signs of the trader himself. Perhaps Kasim has moved on, as he said.
I think we're going to stop at the smithy to get rid of the weapons.
All right, you make your way slightly back after noticing that and head to the smithy. All right, outside the smithy, you can see the same woman that you have spotted before, Grask, who you secured a great axe, I believe it was, from.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, excellent. So as you notice her, she kind of raises herself up off this small stool and moves over and kind of notices you carrying this huge load. And all right, what do you got?
I just kind of start bringing it all out of the furs. Some of it's wrapped up. I've got 3 leather armors, 5 longbows, 7 spears, and 3 shields.
You notice her kind of picking through the things and tisking. Oh, look at the damage on this one. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at that. Oh, this is going to take some time to clean up. I gotta be honest with you. This is probably more work than it's worth. You see how much damage there is to this stuff?
Renaud probably isn't too concerned, but he does want to insight check her to see if she's trying to do any swindling right now.
Sure, yeah. Go ahead and give me a blind check. You kind of get the impression, Renaud, that she's more or less not wanting to buy these things because she knows it's going to be a lot of work on her. Maybe she's feeling a little bit lazy today, perhaps.
And Grask, you were about to say something, sorry.
I've lost the thought if I was.
I guess with Renaud's little insight there, he'll say, I know that they are in bad shape, but perhaps you put them in your discount pile, and then you don't have to pay much to us. And if someone comes along and they are desperate, then you have something to give them that you otherwise would not.
So what you're saying is you want to sell these things to me? I mean, I could certainly take them off your hands. I can either give you a small amount for the whole load, or if you like, you can leave it here, and if I manage to repair something and sell it, I can give you a small cut.
What would you charge us for the load?
I mean, I guess I could give you 30 gold pieces for the lot.
Renaud kind of shrugs. They're probably, I know, individually worth more than that, but if she's got to take the time to fix it all and make it look all right.
I ain't got a problem with that. I mean, Grask, you carried it, though.
Grask will he puts his hand on the great axe, and he says,
She did a favor for me before. I'm fine with this.
30 gold then, and you get to keep the majority of the money you make off of them.
All right. And you see she kind of looks through her little drawer here, pulling out some coins. It's kind of like just free sitting out in the open here, not actually like in the shop. And she pulls out 30 gold and again puts it in a small cloth sack here and hands it over to you. Do you mind just like bringing it right? Just can you set it over right here? And you see she like kind of motions like basically right at the entryway of the smithy.
Sure.
Yep, we can do that.
start moving it.
All right, imagine you spend just a couple minutes here bringing this stuff all over, setting it down, and yeah, as you're looking at it, you can see her kind of like she's looking at it, and you get, again, not that she's upset with you guys, but you more or less get this impression that her whole day and maybe the next few days she's already got planned in her mind. It's going to be cleaning weapons, sharpening axes, that kind of stuff. But you imagine once she starts being able to sell some of the things, maybe she'll be happier about it.
I hope you have good luck selling them. We will be sure and tell anyone coming into town that needs such things to come and see you.
Ah, yes, that would be great. Anything you can do. Not a lot of folks making their way through here. I did sell a couple things recently, but yeah, if you send anybody my way, I appreciate it.
Tell me, would you have studded leather armor here, or would that be more the tanner down the way?
The tanner could probably get you the regular leather, but sometimes I buy stuff from him and add the studs. So Studded leather. Let me see. I think I've got it. That. What's that? Yeah, I think I got what could fit you.
I would like to purchase this. Not that it is probably worth much, but I do have my original set of armor, if you wish to have that in exchange. Oh, and it seems I have a set of hide armor on here that I did not realize. As I look at my inventory, would you like to buy that too?
All right, so this would be like a used set of leather and hide?
Yes.
You see, she looks at us. I'm a smithy. I can give you a couple. How about 4 gold pieces for both? I could sell you the studded leather though for 45.
I think that is fine. If it is more work for you, I can go and take the hide armor down to the tanner.
I mean, there's not much I'm going to be able to do with it. That's not really... Yeah, I mean, if you want to just take it down to him, he might give you something more.
I will still buy that studded leather off of you. That was 45, you said?
Yeah, 45. Great. And you see she kind of rummages through and hands out the suit of studded leather.
Got a whole 14 AC now, guys.
Moving up in the ranks.
You could have just worn the hide, couldn't you?
It is a max of 2.
No.
Yeah,
Hide
I
might
get
not
it.
match the couture look he's looking for.
It's true.
Wasn't the right
I've
kind
got
of
this
hide.
whole French, assassin look going on right now.
All right, well, thanks for bringing this all. Got my work cut out for me, she says as she scratches the back of her neck. Thanks, yep. Good luck with the tanner guy.
Much appreciated. So then we go down to the tanner.
All right, you guys make your way away from the smithy and head across the small bridge, across some farmlands here, and closer to the tanner. As you head out front, you notice, as before, there's a door here. You guys have spent some time here, and you remember before, there's never like anybody outside. You essentially have to knock to get their attention.
Knock, knock, knock. Bonjour.
And moments later, the door is indeed opened, and you notice the same human gentleman that you spotted before. I'm not sure if you guys ever asked or got his name, but he notices you and says, "Oh, you're here to shop?"
Well, not really, but we figured you're probably the only person that would know what to do with these. I mean, they're very high quality, and Grask has been carrying them. He's doing a great job. He's keeping them out of the mud. But maybe we could sell them, see what you have. Maybe do like a little swappy swap or something.
Okay, yeah. Let's see what you got here. And you're essentially trying to sell the 30 pounds of animal furs and the bear rug.
That's right.
You see, he kind of looks them up and down. Yeah. Let's see. It's gonna take some work to get this all cleaned up, and well, I mean, I wonder if I can. How much are you looking to get?
Can I... Let me check here. I have insight.
I mean, even if you don't have the proficiency, you can always try.
Okay. Grask, I feel, knows furs. These were in a hunter's cabin. He thinks these are probably pretty cleaned up already.
All right, yeah. Go ahead and give me a blind check. I would say Grass probably does know furs reasonably well, being a hunter and so forth, but exactly how much people are willing to pay for them, kind of a different type of business line. But you would guess you might be able to get in general somewhere between 2 or 3 gold pieces per pound of fur. Hard to say, again, if it's really high quality and there's a good market for it, might be half of that, if not so much.
I look around his shop. How stocked is it right now?
You don't see anything on display. Like, you don't. It almost doesn't really look much like a shop when you're in here. Like, there's a few things, but it's certainly not like he's moving a lot of product or anything. And you notice he kind of scratches at his face. Well, to be honest, we don't get a whole lot of people buying stuff. It's usually someone comes in and makes a request, and then we do the work then. Like, hey, I just bagged an animal, and then they bring it here, and we process it for them. But we don't get a whole lot of, tourist business.
A lot of adventurers through here. You probably should start.
It's hit or miss, I mean, sometimes there's a bunch of adventurers in town wanting to head out to the Scarlet Citadel and stuff, but then other times months go by and there's nobody here, so it all depends.
What about 3 golds per pound?
3 gold? Oh, you see he kind of scratches the back of his head. Okay, I guess I could go that far.
And the rug, is that different?
It looks pretty good, but that's more like big city stuff. I bet you somebody rich would pay for. Oh, actually, yeah, okay, yeah. Maybe I will buy that off you. I seem to recall that tax collector guy. He said he was looking for something fancy. He might be interested in this. How about I give you 5 gold for that?
Deal.
Alright, so he will hand over a total of 95 gold pieces to take your 30 pounds of fur and the bear rug.
Grask, not usually one for business deals. After it's done, just kind of looks at the gold and looks at him and says, "Good." And then he turns and walks out.
Renaud will grab the pouch and hand it off to Elliot, and then he'll say, I have a set of regular leather and hide armor, too, if you wish to purchase that.
No. I mean, if you want me to take it off your hands, I can give you, I guess, a gold piece for it.
Yes, here you go. And he'll just, you know what, keep the gold. I hope you sell them to someone that needs them.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I was going to have to patch it up here. This one's got kind of a strange odor to it, but yeah, I'll see what I can do.
We're going to say that was the hide armor that has a strange odor, not his armor.
All right, and as you guys wrap up here with the tanner and make your way out, back over in the Cage Tavern and Inn where we have Hugo and Harmony, is there anything in particular you guys are getting up to at this point?
No, Hugo's just sort of lamenting that he lost his shadow, and I'm probably, once people come back, I'm probably going to go to that temple where we bought the healer's kit and just sort of ask that, or a cleric there, if they know anything about this whole shadow curse thing.
Okay, fair enough. And anything specific for Harmony?
Harmony is like waving sage around Hugo, like convinced this will make his shadow come back.
Nice, okay. All right, so yeah, as you guys are passing the time away, and inside there, Sebastian is sort of regaling you with what he's done the last couple of days. It seems to be mostly gambling and womanizing here in the village of Red Tower, and he seems very, very excited to tell you about this. But yeah, as that time passes by and the group then makes their way back, you guys all rejoin in the Cage Tavern and Inn.
How'd you guys make out? Sell the stuff?
Yeah, not bad. Grass got 3 gold pieces a pound for those furs. Well, that's pretty impressive.
That's good.
It is a little bit of money, more than we had a moment ago.
Renaud,
Is Grask?
when you first showed up, you said you could figure out what things are.
That is a thing that I can do. However, I am missing a vital component for it. I need a pearl to channel the energy that I use to identify things.
Can the pearl be bought with gold?
It can. In fact, that would be the preferred way. I suppose you can find them out in the wild, but I do believe Ambrosi said that he had one.
How much is the pearl?
It is quite an expensive item. It's 100 gold total. If you're willing to assist me with it, I have 41 gold. We could go in together with it. I would be eternally grateful for you and try and repay that whenever I am able.
I don't have that much.
I could probably help you out. You know, I mean, between the three of us, I'm sure we could afford a single pearl. I mean,
Yeah. How much do you need more?
I have 41. Perhaps I will keep a little bit in case something pops up between now and then. So let's say I put in 35 gold. So that's what is that?
Were you
Math
guys
is
able to
hard.
sell- Were you able to sell those swords too?
yeah, not as good of a price on those.
We need 65 gold total to make the purchase. So if the three of you wish to assist me, that would be
I can give you 25.
21 gold and 6 silver.
I can chip in too.
Yeah, I can give you 25 gold. Here.
All right. Just start throwing coins at Renaud. Okay, so Elliot's going to do 25.
Oh,
So that's 60 total. So we need 40 more.
I'll give you 20.
Thank you, Amini.
Yeah, I got 20 for you too.
All right. I appreciate you all very much. Get your items ready. I will be back momentarily. And he'll get up and go over to Ambrosi and hash out a pearl deal.
All right. Well, as you request this pearl as before, you do notice Ambrosi kind of gets this little grin and says, "Ah, did you visit Felix?"
Was that the Tana down the way? Oh,
No.
shit. No, that's another total. We left town before I had the chance to go and talk to him. I need to go and speak with him here momentarily. I forgot. I apologize, Ambrosi.
Oh, if you got the money, then no problem. I just assumed that you made it by striking a deal with him. But if you got it some other way, then no problem. I'm happy to sell you the pearl.
I forgot. We had some business out of town, and it was, I guess, rather urgent. But I will go and see him still. More coin is always good.
Up to you. If it was me, I'd probably steer clear unless you're real desperate. But, all right. Yep, there you go. Here's that pearl. I'll take 100 gold pieces from you.
Yeah, we'll slide them all over, and that's 100 gold pearl. Got it.
Okay,
And
pearl in hand.
then, yeah, Renaud will go back to the table and pull out his book that he has, and he'll say, "What was the items that you all wish to discover the properties of?"
What was the original one that Renaud was going to do in the very first session for Renaud?
The potions, I believe.
I also have written down in my notes. We had a silver necklace and bracelet, copper earrings and then 4 rings that were copper. I don't know if we sold those or if we still got those or what.
I think those are sold.
Yeah, we got rid of those things.
So I don't know if we actually have anything to identify. I don't have anything on my side, at least.
Those
potions.
Those potions might be on Penn's sheet.
I have the someone identified him already. I think Ambrosi did, possibly.
Well, I'm ready to go when we have something to identify.
I thought you guys were gonna look at Pop-Up's chakram or something.
Yeah, Grask will pull that out and put it on the table.
Figure out what that is then.
I will endeavor to see. I think it should be a magic item called Popeye's chicken. Chakram.
Pretty close phonetically, yeah.
Yeah, Renat will open his book and start going through the ritual of identify.
All right, so meaning you wish to cast the identify spell here inside the Cage Tavern it in?
Oh, the way you keep asking that, Adam, makes me nervous. But Renat is going to do it, and now we'll see what happens.
Fair enough. Yes, go ahead and post your identify spell as you begin this ritual. So I imagine the chakram's like on this table in front of you, and you begin waving your hands up and down over this, saying some magic words and using this pearl and owl feather and kind of doing this whole thing. You do notice pretty quickly after like maybe 30 seconds or so of doing this, people are eyeing you very oddly and kind of like leaning away and trying to give some distance. And after about a minute or so, this whole like focus kind of roils down the tables as different people begin talking and looking at you. And you see Ambrosi kind of comes out from the counter and walks up to you slowly and goes, what the hell are you doing?
I am identifying this item.
Come on now, take that out of here. You're making people nervous.
Why would they be nervous? This is a simple spell.
Maybe for you, but you know what magic can do. Sometimes people, they've had some bad experiences with magic.
This is a town that has many adventurers come through. I would expect the people to be rather used to it.
You'd be surprised. Most people don't cast spells out in public. It's kind of like, good manners and all.
I was not aware that was the case. Very well, Ambrosi, we will take this outside.
Thank you. And you see he looks back at people and goes, it's fine, as he makes his way behind the counter.
I'll go step outside.
I'll be right back.
All right, and as you step outside or not, is there anywhere particular you'd like to go to try to complete this ritual?
Is there a nice park bench somewhere?
There's this nice pond outside of town.
No. How about an alleyway?
We can go back. I'm gonna go back here by this tree and sit under the tree.
While they're gone, Grask will to Hugo say,
"Shall we go see someone about our shadows now?"
Yeah, I think check just to see if they know anything about it. Let's go.
All right, so Hugo and Grask make your way outside of the Cage Tavern and Inn, and you wish to head over to the Temple of Halen?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. So, Renaud, you make your way over to these trees in the sort of central area here. Sit down, begin doing your ritual once again. There's not nearly many people in this area, and as those that are kind of just are walking by, nobody seems to pay you much attention here, Renaud. The two of you, Grask and Hugo, you make your way over to the temple and step on in. As you've been here once before, you notice the same priestess that you saw previously. I don't recall if you guys got her name either, but you do see her look towards you as you enter, and she gives you a friendly smile. You can tell she has sort of, I guess what you would call maybe slight elfish features, a slight pointiness to the ears, very lithe and thin, and the trademark darker hair that you know that elves tend to have. But she doesn't look full-on elfish, just perhaps maybe part. But yeah, she notices you enter. She starts slowly approaching, has this slight friendly smile to her face. Welcome to the Temple of Halen. Is there anything I can do for you?
Oh, many blessings, Your Holiness. And Hugo bows deeply to her in a far different sort of manner than he had the last time they met.
Oh, thank you. That is most gracious of you. Yes. And you see she kind of looks at you and says, have we met before?
Very briefly, you probably don't remember, but my companions were here to purchase one of your wondrous healing kits, and it served us very well.
And you know she kind of straightens her spine a little bit and does this like presumptuous kind of sniff. Oh, right, I recall. Your entire group and not one follower of Halen in it. Am I correct?
We are quickly coming around to the teachings of Halen, but however, we have come to you in a more desperate need.
As you say this, go ahead and give me a blind check as you say, we're starting to come around. You get, kind of this narrowing of the eyes, and you get the impression that she's trying to gauge whether or not what you're saying is true. And you see, it does not seem as though you have convinced her in any way of this, as she just kind of stares at you intentionally. Desperation sometimes leads people to seeing the beauty of the gods, seeing what Halen can bring. What desperate brings you here? What desperation?
Well, as you can see, between me and my friend here, there's not a shadow between us. And Hugo points at the ground.
And you notice she looks and seems surprised that perhaps she didn't originally notice this, and says, oh my, that is quite strange.
They were ripped from us by a strange cave, some foul magic. And have you ever heard of something like this?
Only in stories and tales, nothing that I've ever been asked to treat. I will be honest, I can try to aid you, but expending magical energy to assist others, well, this is a service the Temple of Halen offers, but such services do have a cost. Because I'm not familiar with exactly what this is, there's a couple of things that I can try, but it might get pricey. How would you like to proceed?
Well,
The stories about it happening. What happened to the people?
Let's see if I can recall. It's been some time to remember the specifics. Oh yes, let's see. There was that tale of the thief who lost his shadow. It was said that he could feel something strange about it, as though it was out of place, and I seem to recall something about he was hurt badly, and he said that he could feel almost like somebody pulling him away, and he had to fight really hard to remain here because something tried to pull him into the afterlife.
what happened to him? Was he all right at the end?
You know, I don't quite recall. I just remember that being of a particular concern. He said he was hurt, knocked unconscious, you might say, and tried to come back to, tried to rouse himself, but he said he could feel it pulling him, and did not want to allow him to remain. I don't remember if it ended there or not. I'm afraid I don't recall that detail.
And I look at Grask concernedly as someone that gets knocked unconscious quite a lot. Both of us. Like, well, I mean, we're happy to... when you say expensive, what does that mean? We're not rich by any means, but we can afford maybe a little.
Well, I'm sure you can appreciate that magic is quite expensive. You never know what is going to happen here in town. I like to be prepared. If I expend this energy on you, I will not have it to expend on somebody else. So, we can either try the most affordable option and see if that works, and if not, go up to a more expensive option, or just start with the more expensive option, but I cannot give you any guarantees that any of these will work.
All right.
How much?
Well, the most affordable option would be 100 gold pieces. That would be to try to restore something that has been lost from you. It may work, but it may not. The more expensive option would be what we call remove curse. If this is in fact a curse, that would potentially restore your shadow to you, and whatever ill effects that accompanies it would go away. That would be 150 gold pieces.
And how long for it to grow back over time?
You mean how long if you are not aided before this simply ends?
Like a cut. How long for the shadow to grow back?
I wish I could give you a more honest answer, but the truth is, this is not something that we see very often. I would not be able to tell you with any sort of certainty that it would come back. If I had to hazard a guess, this seems to be something more of the permanent variety, though.
I can't afford them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd need to gather some up. We greatly appreciate your help, and I think we will probably be back in a short time.
I see. And of course, I certainly wouldn't want to persuade you one way or the other, but devoted followers of Halen are known to be given a discount on our services, she says as she looks at you fairly intently, Hugo.
I mean, it certainly is convincing if the magic of Halen can restore my shadow. But what would that entail from my side?
Well, I suppose the most obvious way would be for you to study the teachings and beliefs of our religion, and then meet with me for a spiritual discussion, counseling if you may, and assuming all goes well and your faith in Halen is true and I am able to ascertain that, then I would probably ask for you to wear some symbolage of his to show the world that you have taken his faith in amongst you, and that you will do what you can to spread this faith to those who need it.
That sounds very nice. How long would that take, though? Well, we're actually planning on leaving the village for a short period of time today.
I just so happen to have a spare prayer book that I could loan you that you could read on your free time, and once you feel that you've truly absorbed the message, you could bring it back to me for your spiritual counseling.
All right. I will gladly accept this.
And you see she smiles as she moves over to this small area of the church here and pulls open this very small drawer. She kind of has to wiggle it from side to side because it seems to want to get stuck. And she pulls this fairly old-looking small prayer book out, and then once again goes through all the effort of closing the drawer before returning to you and handing it over. You can see it is well worn. There's like a lot of grooves and so forth on the leather covering of this book. And you can see there is this sort of red paper or tassel type of bookmarker that hangs right in the first page. You see she holds it over to you fairly reverently with, again, that smile on her face, and she says, I look forward to you accepting the joy in your heart.
Hugo takes it and bows deeply and says, "Thank you again for your kindness."
And with this, you see she turns her attentions to Grask. I must say, I don't believe I've seen many followers of your persuasion. Do you have any interest in learning of the true words of Halen?
How big is the discount?
You notice she smiles and says, I see. I'm afraid that's not how this works. But it's okay. Perhaps your friend here, with him truly accepting the message, he will be able to, well, shed some of Halen's divine grace upon you through your association. Is there anything I can do else for you, my friends?
I do not believe so, Your Holiness. We appreciate the time. I may be, or Grask may be right back, but if not, I will be sure to visit you once I have learned some more.
And I appreciate your kind words, but I must point out to you that holiness is a much higher title than I currently hold. Simply priestess would be more than sufficient. Thank you.
All right. Ready to go back.
All right, fair enough. Grask, I assume you're ready to head back as well?
Yep.
All right, as the two of you exit from the Temple of Halen and make your way back, Renaud, back over there in the wood, the small tree area, you are able to complete your ritual and discover what this is. So I'm going to move all of the text for this from the GM notes up to the player notes, and then just reveal this to the team, because I assume you're sharing these details, right?
He will keep them to himself. No, I'm kidding. Yes.
All right, so this is Pop Pop Chakram. So this is a martial weapon. Damage-wise, it's on par with a dagger, and it's fairly similar to a dagger if you look at the statistics there, but you will notice the magic part of it is, not only is it a +1 weapon, as an action you can throw the chakram and target up to 4 creatures, none of which can be more than 20 feet from each other. You get to make an individual ranged weapon attack against each target, and on a hit, the target takes additional 1d6 slashing damage. You can use this property 3 times, and then you have to wait till the following dawn to use it again.
You have to make the Xena warrior princess sound while you do it.
It might give you advantage if you do it.
That's ridiculous. I'll look at him, and after he finishes and he looks up and explains it to me, I'll say, well, that's pretty cool.
It is very cool, as the kids say.
Yeah.
I mean, you think we should sell it, maybe? I mean, I could probably use it. I'm familiar with pretty much all weaponry. I think Hugo is too, and, well, Grask, he'll just figure anything out just by throwing it or slashing with it,
I think we should perhaps hang on to it. I know we could probably get some money for it, but I gathered that you have fought several enemies which have needed more than a mundane weapon to harm them as it should. So perhaps one of you 3 see if you could use it.
Yeah, I mean, these types of things we gotta keep. We gotta keep going into that citadel. We gotta get stronger with these types of things. So, but I mean, I don't really need it. So I'd say between the 2 of you.
I don't think Grask would want to use something so puny, but I don't think Grask has anything to throw except those javelins, right? Maybe he could use it for ranged attacks.
Adam, is the intent here that this comes back after it's thrown?
Yes, yep. If it doesn't say that, that is the intent, yes. So think of it this way. If you use the action, it would come back after it's thrown. If you just throw it normally, then no, it doesn't come back.
Okay, now the properties of D&D weapons, just to try and get this out of the debate, I'm breaking character here. The thrown property, I think, means that you can use Dex or Strength, right?
Correct. Well, the finesse property does that for you. Thrown would thrown would work with strength. Thrown by default, I think, is strength. It's just letting you know you can throw it.
Okay, and then the action it has to make a ranged weapon attack. Is that specifically Dex only, or is that strength? Could Grask use this? Is really where I'm trying to get.
Yeah, so it's just a weapon. So when you use the action, you could use strength or Dex either way.
Okay, and then who cared about this?
I mean, Penn did have it, I think, right?
Is it a martial weapon?
It is.
I don't know what Pen's 2 classes are, but I know rogues can't use martial weapons, but they can use finesse weapons.
Penn dipped into Twilight Cleric, which I believe gives them all martial weapons.
Yep, so then Penn could use it. And then he would have something to throw from stealth.
He's currently using a crossbow in his crossbow spot. I'm not sure if he'd like it or not, to be honest.
I figure we'll split it up now, and then we'll ask him. We can ask him next session about it. See what he's feeling about it.
Yeah. I think it would work well with either Grask or Elliot. So, up to you guys. You should do rollies for it, or like some rock boulder parchment shears.
No, Grass can use it. It's cool. I've got my crossbow that Elliot is quite attached to.
I'd say whoever is the least like AOE sort of stuff, because that sort of gives you that.
I mean, I think it would be good. It doesn't fit the Grask image, so it's going to be reluctant in character. And then if Penn wants it, I'll let him have it. Because when I look at my range options, I have 2 javelins left, and they're quite expensive, so I'm not buying more.
They're also not magical.
And realistically, even though you have your fancy great axe, if something really was anti-magical, you could use that as a hand weapon too, I think.
You could, yes.
Obviously not
I think Grass
optimal.
would rather die.
He might. I'm trying to think. I know there's things out there that are completely immune to non-magical weapons, so that might come into play. I think perhaps Grask, I know it is not your aesthetic, but I think this is a good weapon for you. You can use it to hit people that you would otherwise not be able to, and it will come back to you.
Maybe you can take it to the smith and see if he can make it bigger too. You make it like giant. Then you wouldn't feel so bad using it. But I mean, I can use it. It just looks like a dinner plate in my hand.
I can try it. If it hits things that I can't reach, that'd be good. But if you'd rather have it, I'm quite happy with my axe.
I'm gonna lean up to Graska's ear and whisper and say, "Look, man, I don't know if I'm strong enough to wield it. That's what I'm trying to say, but you're kind of putting me on the spot. I'm quite puny."
I'll take it then. But does it really come back?
I mean, he used that fancy pearl and he said a lot of magical words. And then he just looked at me and he goes, "Oh, da, 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 da. It comes back after you hit up the 4 creatures. They all have to be within 20 feet of each other." So it seemed like he was pretty spot on with it. But you can't use that all the time. You have to activate it. Otherwise, if you just throw it, it'll just stick into people and then you gotta go retrieve it. Which I guess that would work too, You throw it, sticks, and then you take your axe and then charge them down,
weapon's personality makes it come back.
Yep, like a crazy ex-girlfriend. Do you ever have any of those, Grask? Any crazy ex-girlfriends in your life?
No. Grask respects women.
You know, I feel like that's really true. They like a soft-spoken hunk of a lizard.
And I like them.
we should probably go now, though.
Well. One quick thing on the shadow front. A bit of bad news with a little bit of good news. So the priestess had stories of someone that had it happen to him, and when they got hit really hard and knocked unconscious, they were getting pulled into the afterlife. And I think that's very bad for Grask, especially since he gets hit a lot. So they offered us a way to pay it. I think the first one probably won't work, but that's 100 gold. And the other one is to remove a curse, which this might be. And that's 150 gold. Do we want to pay to try that before we go? I have 70 gold I can put towards it. That's all I have.
Is this a spell that you can do or not?
Or maybe Harmony.
I cannot do it right now, but soon perhaps I would be able to concentrate that kind of energy. I feel bad now that I asked for money earlier, not knowing that you would need some for your cure. You may have the 6 gold I have left, if that helps.
It's fine. I wasn't going to pay her.
What about that? Didn't Ambrosi tell us somebody we could earn some money with? Maybe we could earn enough to get rid of this curse.
He did make it sound like there was an individual named Felix here in town who could perhaps have work for us. I did not quite pick up on the subtleties, though, that he mentioned previous time I talked to him. It sounds like this Felix character may be a little bit nefarious, so I do not know if you all wish to get involved. I know the Citadel is dangerous, but that may be the best option to go and farm some money. What a strange word, to farm money? But that's possible. And as I said a moment ago, if I am able to get a little bit stronger, I could perhaps help you with the shadow. At least at the basic level, maybe not the others until a while later.
Well, you know, what if we went back to the Citadel and I know Ominous smelled something inside of Scar's new bedroom. Did y'all ever figure out what that was?
Nah, we were always too beat up on our way out and didn't want to mess with them.
Well, what if we went in with the intention of taking them down?
As long as it doesn't piss off the wizard guy.
Well,
But we would try the door. I do not, but we try the door every time we go by it just to see if we can catch him out of his room.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried that, like, something big hits Grask, he goes down, and we don't even have a chance to heal him. He's just dead. That would be bad. I don't even care about myself, because I'm probably going to be in the back.
You said that was 100 gold?
Well, she said the first one that's used for like removing some stuff was 100, and then she said remove curse or remove hex. No, remove curse. That's it. Was 150.
I see.
She also gave me this book. I'm gonna read it, but don't worry, I'm not buying into this stuff.
Good, because, the order of nature is as essential as the order of man, and sometimes Halen forgets that.
Oh, I've never seen your eyes look like that, Harmony.
Yeah, Renaud looks a little taken aback with Harmony's pronouncement, but he just kind of nods and says, well, perhaps we script together by our good friend Grask here his decursifying, and then we go and see if we can't make back some of our money.
You know what we should do that we haven't thought of is we should go to the Temple of Eric and talk to Alicide, who's a priestess of Eric, and also an elven centaur, and see what she could do for us.
I think that might be worth talking. It sounds like you know them.
I've been there before, just once.
How much do they charge? Am I gonna have to learn about the teachings of Eric?
Maybe, but what's wrong with that?
I just got a lot of homework assignments. I'm sorry. I'll go.
Suppose it's worth a try. Do we head out now? What else is?
Yeah.
Is everyone not interested in this meeting this Felix person?
It might have to be a last resort.
If we can't get rid of the shadow, I say we go see Felix.
Why don't we go talk to your priest of Eric, ask them if they will give you perhaps a discount, and then if that doesn't work, we can go see what Felix has lined up.
Sounds like a good plan. How much coin do we have left?
Well, before we trek all the way out there to that other priest, I mean, is there like a universal priest cost? Or Eric's, that's his name, right? Eric? Does he offer a discount? Is he a cheaper god or something?
Sometimes I've found that priestesses are more inclined to help those who recognize the supremacy of their deities.
So basically, if you're in the cult, you get a discount? Is that what you were saying?
It's not a cult.
You said an elven centaur is going to cast some magic on us to get our shadow back. That sounds a little culty, but I'm not, accusing you of nothing, Harmony. I'll go with you, but I'm just saying.
I think you shouldn't be speaking about Eric this way, considering that I believe on more than one occasion he has restored your vitality when you needed it.
Probably. I don't like Matilda either. She's just an old lady. But, yeah. I'm just saying. It's going to be expensive anyway, either way, but these are also just chances.
All right, Elliot, you don't speak to the centaur. All right, I feel like you're gonna sink our chances if you blast their god.
Just the two that are missing the shadows could come.
does the centaur offer discounts if we follow?
I think we gotta go out there and talk to it to find
Yeah,
out.
we gotta ask her. It's not an it. Her name is Alice Steed. Or Stead. And she's very nice.
And you would remember, Harmony, that this creature is actually referred to as an Alseed. So that's her creature type. And I believe you may have gotten the name. There's actually 4 of them here. I believe the one you spoke to before was Sinanna.
I wrote down Alice Alcide as her name. How do you spell that? Yeah,
So
let's go
Alseed
see.
are kind of an interesting, similar to centaurs, but not quite the same.
Perhaps I will go with you, and since I was able to reclaim mine, maybe that will give them some clue of what exactly we need to do.
Sounds like a plan.
Lead the way.
All right, so it sounds like the group would like to... So is it just the 2 affected and then Harmony as well?
Renat will go with them.
Yeah, I'll go too, but I'm try to be silent.
We might want to all go, just way we can just go straight to the Scarlet Citadel afterwards, if it works.
All right, let us go.
All right, and as you're speaking up of this, you notice Sebastian looks at you guys as he starts to put one of his drinks down and says, sorry I've been a bit quiet, but was I hear you all ready to go back to the Scarlet Citadel?
We have to go and ask a priestess about a... hold on.
Visit the priestess. This sounds right up my alley. Let's go.
I got a text message. Sorry. Yes, 2 of our companions have lost their shadows, and we must go and ask about it. So, if you are game, Sebastian, and how drunk is Sebastian?
Not hammered, but maybe slightly tipsy.
You sure you're in good shape?
Yes, I'm ready to go.
I hear this priestess has long, slender legs. Four of them.
The trip has got 4. That's the first time for everything.
You two can wait outside.
Yeah, Sebastian's gonna wait outside with me.
That is probably wise.
All right, fair enough. So it sounds like the full group makes their way out of the Cage Tavern and Inn, passes through the interesting rib cage entrance here, makes your way over, passing through this more narrow path to get through the gate, where you'll once again notice a guard. You guys pass by the orchard, and you can see that there are some workers there moving about, seemingly tending to the bushes. You pass by that as well and make your way out to the Temple of Eric. So this Temple of Eric is very much outdoorsy. There is a rough building, but the most of the building is actually not fully walled. So you can see that there are these kind of posts that keep up the front of the building, and think of it more of like an open air market kind of look. And then in the back there's actually a closed part of it as well. But as you guys are getting closer, you notice one of the Alceids coming over towards you as she sees you approach.
Greetings. Is Sinanna here?
And you see, as you ask this question, she looks towards you and she says, "Oh, she's away now, my child. Is there anything that I can do for you?"
She was very helpful last time I was here praying to Eric. I'd like to do so again, and was wondering if there was anyone here that has any experience with curses that result in loss of one's shadow. 2 of my dear friends have been afflicted, and we're worried about what this could mean for them long term.
You notice she actually cringes when you say curse and kind of pulls back a bit and says, "Oh, this is very unfortunate. Ooh, oh yes, I see now. You are affected. Well, daughter of Eric, you may start your prayers. The two of you, please, come with me.
Oh, all right.
I'll follow.
You hear the clip-clop of her hooves as she starts making her way. Is there anybody that also tries to follow?
Can we all come, or do you wish to talk to them on their own?
Without turning back, she says, just the two affected.
Yeah, if you need anything.
Harmony's gonna take her opalescent feldspar and play. Is there a? Does Temples of Eric have an altar?
Yes, it's very simple though. It looks more like kind of like a wooden construction as opposed to any kind of stone or anything like that.
Well, she's gonna place it on the altar as an offering.
Okay, and then you're praying here to Eric and sort of going through your recitations of some of the prayers that you're familiar with.
Yep.
All right, yeah, go ahead and throw me a blind check as you do that, Harmony. Grask and Hugo, as you follow this woman who you're not sure what her name is. You know the other one was Sinana, but this one sort of walks away a bit and leads you away and down this path, and you can see that the trees are around both sides of you, and as she gets a bit of way, she sort of does a circle around, and you're kind of struck almost with maybe the image of like how hounds will occasionally like circle around before they settle on a spot to sit. She does kind of like a half motion of this, but instead of sitting, it's almost like a regal kneel, perhaps, as her backside lowers, but her front side is still like halfway up. And you see she lowers her head as she looks towards you. Yes, you are affected. I can see it. I can see it.
Can it be fixed?
You see she looks again intently and says, spin around so I can fully see.
Alright, Hugo will spin. Arms outstretched.
And you notice she inclines her head slowly, and you see these sort of like antlers off of her head move a bit, and then she looks towards you, Grask.
Grask is watching Hugo spin and looks back at her and realizes, oh, okay, and will spin as well.
And you see she nods again. She starts pulling on some stuff. There's this kind of rock nearby. And you see she moves over towards this rock and starts moving some stuff over. You get the impression almost of like trying to roll something, that she's got something with her palm on the rock and she's sort of moving it in a circular motion. And eventually she comes over both to you, and you can see this like kind of like a combination of these small plants. They look mostly green, but you can detect some other colors, and there are some reds and some yellows that seem to break through this crushed bit of perhaps flowers and things. And it says, to you first, Hugo, open your mouth.
Alright. This isn't gonna hurt me, right?
No.
Okay, Hugo closes his eyes and opens his mouth.
And you feel this suddenly placed on your tongue. It's kind of a weird earthy taste to it. It definitely doesn't taste like something you should be eating, but it's not terrible. But you see she, as you close your eyes, she says, suck on that for a moment and then swallow. And she repeats this process with you as well, Grask.
Grask will do as instructed.
Okay, fair enough. Yes, and once you complete, and I imagine after a bit of time here, Hugo, you maybe open an eye, or at least both eyes, be like, oh, what's going on? You see her she seems to be kind of watching you, and eventually you see she takes her hand out and is feeling around you, but not even really close to your body. It's like maybe 3 or 4 feet away. It's almost like there's something there. She's kind of touching upon it, and she says, I'm afraid this is not something that we can cure with simple herbs and plants. This is bad. This is quite bad indeed.
Oh no. Does it help if we tell you we got it from a cave?
From a cave? I would imagine you got it from a creature.
Yeah, there was a creature, but then he, like, slid into the walls.
And you see she nods. Yes, terrible creatures of darkness they are. The only way to defeat them is to expose them to the light. If you can corner them and bring enough sunlight with you, they are destroyed.
Oh. See, when we showed light in there, it just disappeared, though. But
Yes.
we need more light, huh?
Well, if light disappeared inside, then it probably has protected its lair to prevent you from doing so. Did you bring sunlight in?
Oh, I don't know how to do that. I guess with some mirrors, maybe.
Or with somebody who can wield the faith of Eric. He can bring the sunlight. Either way, I'm afraid you are not going to receive help here. We don't have such magics to purge such potent curses from you.
Do you know if the magic from a spell that removes curses would fix it?
And you notice she kind of looks towards the ground for a moment and kind of paws at it with her front hoof and then nods. Yes, this would do the trick. Though, depending on how strong the creature that gave it to you, not a guarantee. And caution, you see she raises a finger now, she looks at you. If you should be harmed greatly, you will find it very challenging to regain your senses unaided, for you will try to be pulled into the shadow world.
If we were to destroy this creature, would that end this curse?
Yes, but finding the creature may not be so easy. They rarely stay in one place, unless forced to through some magic or agreement.
Well, thank you for trying.
You are welcome. If you need my aid again, I will do what I can, but, well, anyway, you may refer to me as Bellinor.
Eleanor, nice to meet you. My name is Hugo.
Grask.
And you see she nods again with a slight smile, now looking towards you, and actually kind of moves her head back and forth. You get the impression almost like someone cracking their neck, but you don't think that's what she's actually doing. It's almost like readjusting her antlers or the weight on her head, perhaps. And then she looks towards you again and says, Come, let's rejoin your companions.
Alright, follow her out.
All right, Armony, as you say your prayer here, occasionally you know that when you give a prayer to Eric at one of these consecrated or at least dedicated to him temples, sometimes there will be some maybe effect. Maybe you'll notice like a slight uptick in the wind. Maybe you'll get a scent of something from the natural world, like deep earth or a particular flower, something like that. But as you say your prayer here to Eric and look around for any type of signs, try to feel for anything, it is simply silent. Alright, group, you are all back together with both Sebastian and Elliot out front. I imagine Sebastian is slowly sobering up here, but he's regaling you with some ribald tales here, Elliot.
I'm pretending like I understand him perfectly.
Alright, fair enough. Yeah, he doesn't seem like he's too worried about whether you're being honest or not. He just seems really happy to be able to tell people about this stuff. Okay, group, so yeah, you guys are still here at the Temple of Eric, and unfortunately it doesn't look like our two companions who have lost their shadows will be getting any aid. What is the group's plan?
So I'll relay all that information that we learned from Bellinor to everybody.
So, did either of the priestesses say, like, how is it, like, if you're knocked unconscious, you're in trouble?
Yeah. But we get knocked unconscious a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll say, based on the information you've gathered from two sides here, mechanically, you can assume that if you're knocked unconscious, you're going to have disadvantage on your death saving throws.
It's not instant death, just hard
Yeah,
death.
that's true. I thought it might be like you get one, which would be probably worse, but...
Well, at disadvantage, you're more likely to roll a 1, so...
Then you say if we go and kill the beast, then problem solved.
Yeah, that's true, but we also, like, it left that cave, I think. I'm not sure if it's still there.
Do you still have that amulet thing?
No, it took it.
Okay.
Right before it sucked all the liquid out of Grady.
After Renan rejected the gift, it left.
Yeah, it was just trying to give you Grady's juice.
Are we sure that it left that cave? Because...
Well, when we were in there in the dark again, it didn't show itself anymore. So it could be in the walls or something, but...
It is very good at hiding. I think I got extremely lucky when I spotted it the first time.
I mean, I don't want to hold the group back. I'm willing to press on, but it's up to y'all.
Without our shadows, I say we visit Felix.
Yeah, I'm pretty nervous about going back in the Citadel with either of you in this condition. So I vote for either trying to hunt the creature down again or visit Felix.
And Bellinor did make it seem like the Church of Halen's spells might fix it, possibly. But we need to make some money to make that happen.
Well, I can go and speak to Felix and see what he has. It probably will be something distasteful, but if everyone is game, I think it might be worth it to get our friends in better shape.
Well, I've been on the other side of the law for a long time, so maybe it might be fun to, switch things up. Hey, Hugo?
Yeah, this side is way more fun.
Adam, I vaguely recall where Ambrosi said Felix lived. I'm sure Renaud has a better idea. Can we head that way?
You can. In fact, once you got the name, I'll go ahead and just reveal it right on the map. That is Felix's house there.
Is that one with the blue letters over it?
That's crazy.
All right, so it sounds like the group would like to make their way to Felix's house and see what they can find there. So, guys, as we're halfway through our session, let's go ahead and pause here and take our 15-minute break.
Okay.
Sounds good.
See everybody on the other side. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to our second half of Scarlet Citadel. The group is still in the village of Red Tower. Sounds like they want to follow up with this plot hook over at Felix's house. So, team, you guys have made your way back into the walled area here of the village of Red Tower and wish to head to Felix's house. I'm sure that doesn't matter too much about the exact route you take, so we'll assume you guys, knowing where you're headed, just make your way over there to the home. As you approach this home, you can tell from the outside there is a general sort of lack of care that has been given to the exterior of this home. The grass may be a little bit longer, damage to the actual building itself. Could probably use a good paint job here and some repairs on the wood. There's a small shack that is fairly close to the home. Also looks to be in very poor state. You can see places of the roofs on both structures where it looks like they're sort of depressed, sort of maybe beginning to fall in kind of thing. Yeah, overall just a real general state of this is not very well maintained. The door to the home sits there, quite very much not welcoming, but it is there.
I was the one who told Ambrosi I would talk to him, so I suppose I should go and say hello. Is there anything that you all wish to not be involved in if he offers?
Yeah. I think you'll know it when you hear it, though. But
Yeah, let's not do any kind of like blood-related assassinations. You know what I mean? That sounds like a whole lot of
no
work.
cold-blooded murders, etc. You know.
The bad stuff. The
Yes.
bad. All right.
However, if we're murdering somebody who deserves it, well, maybe.
I will ask about their alignment as if he offers. All right, I will go up to the door and knock.
All right, as you knock on the door, you hear from inside of the home the sound of like a spoon or perhaps fork suddenly clatters on the ground. Who is that?
Ambrosi sent me. Adam, there was something Ambrosi told me to say, and I cannot remember it for the life of me. I'm your man, or I'm your guy.
That was it. Yeah, I'm your man. Yep. So you say that, and you hear, moment, give me a moment. And you can hear again some movement around inside, shifting of weight. It almost sounds like someone kind of bumping up against things, and you hear a figure getting closer to the door, and suddenly it opens just a crack. And you can see a very heavily clothed figure before you. Very think of this as a cloak sort of wrapped tightly around the face to the point where even the eyes are not visible. The figure seems to be looking down and just kind of winces and looks up just for a moment. And through this area that is not covered by cloth, you can see what you would probably presume to be cataract eyes, as they have this very strange sort of opalescentness to them. And you see he kind of looks out and puts a hand up even. There's not a lot of light that would be glancing right towards his face at the moment. And then he looks back down. So many of you. You're not just you?
I was the one who originally talked, but these are my companions. We make a pretty good team together, although depending on what you need, maybe only one or two of us assist you with it. What can we help you with?
I only need one of you. You're not scared of me, are you?
Not really. I've seen much worse.
Well, then why don't just you come in and we'll talk.
He'll nod at the rest of the group and give them the stay hand motion, and then he'll head in.
All right, he opens the door enough for you to step in, and those of you, especially you, obviously Renard, and then those of you kind of close by, you're going to notice what essentially is like a pigsty of a house. There's stuff stacked everywhere. You don't notice a lot of what you would consider to be actual filth, like food or liquids, stuff like that. More or less someone who's incredibly cluttery. Think of like a hoarder, perhaps on a really high scale. But you kind of get a glimpse of this as he quickly closes the door. Those of you on the outside notice the door sort of rattles and is not very much tight in the door frame. Again, looking very much poor quality like the rest of the home. Inside of the home here, Renard, you notice he is holding this cloth. It really is more like a blanket now that you're fully inside and you can see this, that it looks like he wrapped around his body quickly, you imagine, and he kind of motions, go this way. You can sit there. And you see he kind of points to this chair, and there's another chair that's kind of close by it.
He'll sit down.
All right, you notice he kind of scrambles over there. He's got a bit of a limp, and you can see him kind of favoring one leg. And as he gets there and kind of sits down, he looks back at you once again, just kind of at the corner of his eye. Last chance. You said you're not Scarlet, right?
You go ahead. I am fine.
And you say he pulls the blanket back here, revealing his true appearance to you.
Renato just kind of not shrug, but just kind of nod in acquiescence to this guy looking terrible. But he'll say, Ambrosi, you mentioned you have some work.
Work. I don't know how I'd call it that, but if you're willing to undergo some things, then I might be able to help you out some. I assume you're looking for money, right?
That is correct. What do you mean undergo?
Well, you see he kind of looks at you and cocks his head a little bit.
I see. I had this problem in the past. My mind has been all, messed up.
And you see he kind of waves a hand by his head.
So many things going on in there. Can't think straight sometimes. But found out a way I can get rid of it. I just gotta, share it with someone. Are you my guy?
You shared, so I would also be similarly affected, but not as bad.
Well, maybe you take a burden off my mind, taking all yours.
Would it be permanent?
Well, depends on how strong your mind is, I guess.
Matt is hurriedly looking through his spell list to see if he's got any shit for this. Oh boy. How much are you willing to pay?
Well, I suppose I could give you like 300 gold. Does that sound fair?
All right. I feel partially responsible for my friend's predicament, so I suppose we will try this and see what happens. Explain to me if I should I allow you to should I not resist, or are there effects that I can resist that will not affect what you need?
I'll put my hands on yours, and our minds will connect. Yeah, you're gonna see some things. Just don't break the connection.
All right. Do you mind if I cast a spell on me before we begin?
What is it?
I believe the common name for it is Bless. And perhaps I will cast it on both of us, and then we will each have a better experience.
Bless. God's haven't blessed me in many years. You can do what you want, though.
Do you not wish it, then?
You can try, but never put much faith in the gods.
Let's see what happens. I will cast Bless on myself and him as this starts.
Alright, you expend this spell slot, and you notice he kind of scooches his chair a little bit closer towards you. Says,
"You ready? Give me your arm."
He'll hand it over.
And as you stretch your arm out, you see his hand is very jerky, and he kind of reaches it out, and it's very much shaky as you look at it, and arthritic as his hand wants to like turn up into a claw type shape. But he stretches it out and lays it on it as best you can, and he kind of squeezes more towards the area of your elbow that is currently upstretched, that middle section of your arm, and has it really tightly on there. And then you see he just kind of raises his head and he looks at you. And at first you're wondering like, when is this actually going to start? You're not feeling anything, but you notice a small sort of twinkling in his right eye. You can see almost like an image there, and subconsciously you almost can't help it as you kind of narrow your vision and focus towards this, and you start to see a lot of images, many images of pain and suffering. You can see sort of weapons moving around, people. You can see a couple flashes very quickly of what looks to be a young child getting hit with a belt by a much older individual. You can see somebody running through the forest and getting hit with all of these different thorns and smacks of the different branches. You can see as they finally brush through this area just covered in pickers and thick with streaks of blood from where these angles have hit the individual. And you can see these images constantly just reinforcing and almost impressing themselves on your mind. Do you try to resist this at all, Renaud?
From what he said, I do not want to resist this or it'll screw up the whole thing, right?
He said don't break the connection, which you get the impression that if you try to resist this, that's essentially what you're doing, is breaking the connection.
I guess I'll just let it go.
Okay. All right. So this goes on for probably a good 2-3 minutes, but it seems like much longer now as these images are just layered and laced in your memory over and over and over, as though they're just kind of built like a cake of terror, one thing on top of the next. Once this is finally done, you see he pulls back and it looks at his own hand as it's sort of shaking, and then grasps a little bit and looks towards it and has this look of a little bit of wonderment in his eye. And as he turns and looks towards you, you see that opalescentness in his right eye sort of shimmers momentarily and clears just a little bit, where you can actually make out a steelish eye underneath that cloudiness now. However, you feel a little bit of though that cloudiness has settled upon you.
All right. Yeah, I did the check. Let me get your gold 1 minute.
Yeah. All right.
You see he hobbles up, moving away into the back area here, pushing around some different things, and hear him complaining to himself, speaking sort of under his breath.
Oh, there it is. I found it.
You see he kind of pulls himself back and has this small little trunk in his hands, maybe about a foot wide by a foot deep kind of thing, and he just like roughly pushes it to your chest.
All right, there you go. Now, well, we better get yourself going now, okay?
Yeah, thank you. I'm sorry for the things you have seen.
Man, I hope your dreams better than my dreams.
Renaud will nod, take the chest, and walk out.
All right, and as you exit from this home, he slams the door behind you, not in an aggressive way, but seemingly just happy for that interaction to be over. And once again, those of you guys out front of the house see the door rattles in its door frame again.
I think Renaud probably looks up at the bright sky and kind of squints a little bit and maybe is looking a little out of sorts as he kind of readjusts, and then he'll head back over to the group with the chest and hand it off to Grass because it's probably heavy as shit. And he'll say, all right.
Do you need us to do some stuff around the house?
We killing anybody?
Is it foot stuff?
It wasn't any of those. It's already done. I took care of it. Let us go to see about you two and your shadows.
What happened? Why don't you want to talk about it? What did he do?
Was it the foot stuff?
Are you okay?
It was not foot stuff. Let's walk and talk. I wish to be away from here. And Renaud will just kind of give them a quick overview of the mental sharing anguish that was just experienced as they're heading back over to whichever the temple was that the ladies could cast the remove curse on our friends here.
Yeah, sure. So you make your way. As you recall, when you first spoke with Ambrosi, he indicated sort of like the shock or maybe humor or irony of the fact that Felix lived so close to the Temple of Halen, and that is here.
Man, well, I appreciate you doing that, Renaud.
It is fine. It was not great, but I feel like it could have been worse. And if we get your shadows back, then it will have been worth it.
So what did it actually cost you?
If I had to guess, I would say that I will not be sleeping very well for the next several nights.
And then it'll go away.
Renaud just shrugs. Not sure. Go on, go talk to your person. I'll wait out here.
All right. Thank you again.
You are fine, don't worry. Go get better.
Okay. Take the chest and just bring it into the temple.
All right, and I assume Grask, you're entering as well?
Yep.
Okay, as the two of you enter the Temple of Talon once again, second time in recent memory, you notice once again that same priestess who is sort of in the back, and it seems as though she's scrawling something on a parchment, and she raises her head and sees you and calmly collects herself as she stands up and allows her garments here to sort of lower to the ground, and then grabs the chair, tucks it in under this little bench that she was sitting at, and then moves around and comes over towards you. Oh, welcome back. Is everything okay? Have you decided to take me up on my services?
We're ready to convert.
To convert? Well, are you ready for the spiritual counseling then? And you see she turns her attentions towards you, Hugo.
Well, I mean, I haven't had time to read your blessed book yet, priestess.
Grask will kick him in the back of the leg.
But yes, I suppose no time like the present.
And you see she nods slowly and says, well, I'm afraid that you've had it for such a short period of time. I can't imagine you have absorbed its message quite yet. The word of Halen is inspired, but the human mind, all mortal minds, take time to comprehend, to absorb such teachings.
I will continue to learn more. We do wish to engage your services, whether it be followers of Halen or not.
I see. I will make the same arrangements that we made previously. Do you wish for me to try the less potent ability for 100 gold pieces, or the more potent one for 150?
You hear Renaud yell from the outside, the more expensive one!
Yes, we are going full power for this.
And this is for both of you. I hope you have brought 300 gold pieces then, as is customary for such magical services from the temple.
Pop open the chest.
Alright, and as you pop open the chest, maybe for a slight moment, a little bit concerned that nobody bothered checking inside of the chest before realizing how much coin might be in there, you notice she looks inside and nods softly and says, "Yes, I suppose this will do." And she closes the chest softly and takes it from you and takes it back to this desk that she was sitting at and sets it upon it. As she comes back, she looks and says, "Okay, well, I hope this will work." Is there anything you wish to say before I cast the spell?
I believe in the power of Halen.
You see she looks towards you as though not really believing what you're saying. Well, let us see if he will shine his favor upon you. And with this, you see she begins to wave a sigil in the air with her finger as she utters some magical sounding words and incantations. As she holds her hand forth, you notice this very slight bit of bluish white light sort of stretches forth from her, in a very gentle, slow-moving fashion. Almost you get the impression of like a drop of water moving across the air as she reaches and touches you, Hugo. And Hugo, please give me a wisdom saving throw at advantage. And you can roll that publicly, of course.
Okay.
Why did I waste the bless on that earlier?
All right. As this magic seems to stretch out and touch upon you, Hugo, you feel very strange for a moment. It's almost like being plunged into ice cold water, and suddenly you take a quick inhalation of breath, and you realize as you blink your eyes quickly, your shadow has returned.
Oh, it worked. It worked, Grask.
That's good.
Blessed be he who grants his light down upon his followers. And now it is your turn. And you see she turns towards you, Grask. Are you ready? Do you wish to say anything before the spell is cast?
I can see that this Halen truly does work.
Unconventional, but let us see. And she repeats this process upon you, Grask, and you feel this stretch out towards you. Wisdom saving throw at advantage.
Oh no.
And
Who's got some inspiration? Who's got something?
You realize as the magic stretches out to you, part of you maybe doesn't quite believe Grask. Part of you doesn't really feel like this is going to do it, even though you've just seen it affect Hugo and seen his shadow return. There's something at the edge of your consciousness is just like, this is not for me. And when the magic tries to embrace you, you see that it fails to do so. And she kind of pulls her hand back as though maybe she was just shocked a bit. And you see she gives you this sort of wincing look. I'm sorry. It seems as though my magic was unable to aid you. I don't know why it was. The curse must be more heavy laid upon you.
What do we do now? Try it again.
I'm afraid I've expended my magical energy available to cast such a spell, and in my experience, if I am unable to break such a curse, it doesn't seem to be broke upon successive castings of such a spell. You would need to find somebody else who is able to cast the spell to attempt to break it from you.
This is no good.
So, how much do we owe you then?
And you see she glances back towards where the chest was kept and looks back and she says, we are all good with what you have donated to the church for the services. As I said, expending this energy is part of the casting of the spell. That is the service that is offered. It usually works, but I'm afraid on you it did not.
We're going to have to find another person to do this for us. And another friend took on a large curse to get the gold.
And you see she frowns slightly. One of your friends took upon a curse to get money?
Only a guess. Doesn't look good.
I see. Well, I'm sure you know what I would advise is do not sell your bodily health, mental health, or your purity in the light of the gods, and particularly Halen, from separating yourself from them. Keep yourself pure.
Agreed. But we're going to have to take 150 gold back to find someone else to fix it.
I'm afraid that's not how it works. You see, you've spent the money for me to expend the energy. I am unable to aid somebody else in these matters today. If somebody else should need similar help, or something else requiring that level of magical potency, I will not be able to aid them. This is why we require this donation.
Grass just looks upset, or like frustrated, confused.
Come on, Gresk. We gotta get out of here.
All right. And he walks behind Hugo, kind of jealously looking at his new shadow.
Walk in the light of Halen.
I tried.
Yep, Hugo goes one last bow before he goes out.
And you see she smiles and nods in return. All right, back outside the Temple of Halen, guys.
He only fixed me.
I see that. Grask, it did not work on you.
She couldn't do it.
Like she couldn't, like we just come back tomorrow kind of thing? Or like it didn't work, or what happened?
I don't know. She took the money. She wouldn't give it back. But I don't have my shadow.
Well, I suppose that I know we didn't want to take you out in the field without the shadow, but I think that this perhaps problem means that we will be solving it ourselves.
It's fine. We all die someday.
But perhaps not today. We will keep an eye on you, Grask. Do not worry.
Yeah, you know, Grask, I learned a few new spells, you know, like I could go in there and try to dominate her, maybe, like her mind. Maybe.
She was saying that it won't work with her, and also she didn't have the energy left today to do it.
Yeah, but she's got a chest of coin in there, right? We just take it back.
Oh. But if you do that, we won't be able to come back here, right? Because, I don't know, I feel like she'll get the guards involved at that point. You're really taking a turn for the bad side, Elliot.
It's fun. You're right. I mean, but he didn't. It was what we paid 300 gold for only one of you to get cured. That sounds like a pyramid scheme.
I tried to get the money back. She wouldn't give it to me.
Well, either way, I think we do not wish to break into the temple and steal it. That is not the proper way to do things. Let us head to the Citadel, where we might seek some riches or perhaps items. If Harmony or myself get strong enough, we will be able to attempt to cure you as well, perhaps.
For sure.
Can anyone here create sunlight with your magic?
I can make light, sunlight. Not yet. Again, that is something that I could perhaps do, though, given a little bit more time.
That's the only other option for us right now, I think, at least in this town, is to try to find that creature and destroy it. But I'm good with whatever Grass feels comfortable doing.
Let's head to the Citadel.
Looks like I can only make fire.
You sure, buddy? You know, I mean, I got another one. I can make like a hypnosis pattern. You sure? I'm ready to try out some new spells, and she took money from us, so I guess.
She knows magic we don't. We likely wouldn't be strong enough.
Alrighty. Well, do we need food or provisions of any kind? Healing potions, now that we can afford them?
I have this one healing potion here. We think it's a healing potion. We never identified this one, but it looks like one.
Oh, do you want me to look at that before we go?
I mean, speaking of energies, aren't you expending energies to look at stuff?
As it were, those they are already copied down, and if you do the long way, They do not take any energy from me.
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, if you ain't want to check it, it just looks like a healing potion, but I got it from inside there, so.
Perhaps we will go to the other side of the town where I was the first time I identified these, and then once we have what this is exactly, we will leave and go to the Citadel.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it.
All right, so Renaud, where was that you wanted to head before the Citadel?
Just that tree area.
Sure,
That,
yeah. So you swing back by your little secluded area here.
And Renaud will say, this will take me 10 minutes, so I guess gets comfortable. And then he'll pull out the book and grab the potion and just start identifying it.
And remind me, which potion is this? Where did it come from?
This is the one from that desk that, like, it's with the ooze potion. It's the one that looks like the healing potion, but we never got identified because...
Right, because you assumed it was
check
based on what it looked like, right. Okay, yeah, you can certainly identify that. Pulling those details up now.
The reason it takes 10 minutes is because the DM has to go through all of the module to find
That's
where
right.
it was.
If you don't want to spend a slot, I get to take a breath, right?
Yep.
So, after 10 minutes using your pearl, you can determine this is a potion of greater healing.
This is actually a very good potion.
Oh. Well,
It will greatly heal you.
Well, maybe if Grass gets knocked on his ass, he's the recipient of said bottle of greater healing.
Would it make sense for Hugo to keep it? He might be the most mobile of us. I don't know.
Hugo, are you still planning to be at the back, even though you got your shadow back?
yeah, I mean, it's back life for me at this point, I think.
Well, maybe I'll take it then, because I'll be up there with Grask. I'm pretty quick, pretty small, in and out really quickly.
All right.
I think that sounds good.
There you go.
So I'll stash it on my little belt, tie it, and keep it nice and tight.
All right. We will go to the Citadel. We will keep an eye on Grask until we are strong enough, and then we will cure him, and all will be well.
All right.
All right, guys, so it sounds like you want to make your way out of the Village of Red Tower and head for the Scarlet Citadel.
Yeah.
Yeah, while we're walking, can I pull back a little bit and then pull Hugo back with me and ask him something?
You can. I imagine that everybody would notice this unless you're somehow doing it surreptitiously, but yeah, you sure could do that.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be quiet about it, but I'm also not trying to be super loud about it. But as we get a little bit of space in between us, I say, Hugo, man, we got our magical abilities about at the same time. Do you have some spells maybe you can't control yet?
I don't think so. Nothing like that has popped up. Are you telling me you have stuff like that?
Yeah, I noticed I got access to something that's just way above my level. It feels strange when I use it, like those harpies. I tried to use it on them, and it felt like I was gonna vomit. Like I felt it on my insides.
Ugh. Well,
Yeah.
with great power, there's always consequences. So maybe don't you do that stuff unless you really need to.
Yeah, maybe. I was just curious, 'cause this magic thing's new to me. Sounds like. You sure you don't have anything, that's above your skill level? You don't feel like it's like natural? It's like different when I cast it, like from another place.
I mean, I have a couple things I can do now, but I feel like I can control it pretty good. I know it's scary, but I feel like this stuff is good. This is a good thing for us to be able to do these things.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. But you don't feel any kind of like sickness or anything after you cast it, right?
No.
All right. Well, we better catch up because Grass looks like he's on a mission.
All right. I got your back, Eli. Don't worry.
Yeah. If you see me vomiting, though, it's I'm not sick. It's just from one of my spells.
Either way, we'll take care of you.
And as you rejoin, you can see most of your companions doing their best to ignore Sebastian, who says, but it was a butterfly, but how she moved her body, the butterfly actually moved its wings, and it's the best thing I've seen in some time.
Harmony is going to wander into the edge of the woods and gather a sapling.
Sure, yeah, I would say that would be something you could fairly easily find. Cut a sapling from a tree. Is this something you would like to wrap up, Harmony, and store on you, or you're using it to do something now?
She's going to use it when she gets to the Citadel.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, you spend maybe 10 minutes or so cutting a sapling from a tree and doing the best you can to prepare it for travel as you guys make your way to the Scarlet Citadel. Alright, so as before, you guys arrive at the ruins of the Scarlet Citadel, make your way, I presume, to that primary entrance, finding that nothing seemingly has changed here in the ruins, see no signs of the Harpies or no signs of any additional creatures that have chosen to make this place their home. Is there something you would like to do on the outskirts of the Citadel with the sapling, Harmony?
Once we're like in that sort of courtyard before you go up the stairs, she's gonna stop and plant a tree in honor of Corin. She normally plants it on their grave, and she's concerned that there's not going to be a body.
There is. You'll find him eventually. He'll find you. Renaud will watch this and say, "This is for your friend."
Yep, it's our custom to plant a tree on the grave of our lost loved ones.
I'm sure he will appreciate it very much.
Does anyone want to say a few words?
So just in case this becomes a plot point at a later time, where specifically would you like to plant the sapling?
I'm not sure I can see. Hold on.
Yep, Harmony's token may not be on here quite yet. Let me pull that over. There you are.
Cool. And here. I was thinking right around here.
Okay, yeah, seems like no disagreements from your team, so yes, you can do so.
But you have to draw it with the Roll20 tools.
A green squiggly line.
I'll find something appropriate to get on there in a moment.
Harmony's gonna say, We failed you, Corin, and you're missed. Rest in peace.
Let this tree be a lesson to us every time we come into this cursed place.
Yeah, and maybe we all can dream about you now, instead of you creepily dreaming about all of us.
It wasn't creepy. Come on. It was nice.
It was nice. But, yeah.
I had a dream. The day that Corin died, I had a dream that morning. I don't normally dream. I think he was rubbing off on me.
What'd you dream about? What was in the dream? Do you remember?
I was in a pool. I was bathing. And undead were reaching up from below me to grab me. I could see them, but the me in the pool could not.
Sounds pretty deep. Well, not the pool, but your dream.
It's likely nothing. But I'll say something for Corin. I don't have all the emotions that men do. I don't share in your sadness. But the other day, I had a question for you, and you weren't there to answer it. Like reaching for a knife you've recently lost. I'm not sad you're gone, but I can recognize things were better when you were around.
That is definitely worth inspiration.
Slap him on the knee, because that's about as tall as I am to grasp. That was good.
Whenever you're ready.
I'm sorry I did not to meet him. Perhaps in another life.
Perhaps in a dream.
Let's see.
All right, guys, so safe to say you're going to take your traditional route down into the first level of the Scarlet Citadel?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. I will move you guys down as you make your way to the first level.
I will light a torch as I descend down. I don't know where I'm at though, but
There you are, Elliot.
I will put a light spell on myself. I'll light up my new studded leather armor.
Oh, right. I was trying to remember if it was this campaign or the other one. So, Elliot, you may not know this, but I have 3 new macros in place. Light-torch, light-produce flame, and light-light spell. So this will allow you to apply a light to yourself. So you'll find those over in your macro section. Just have your token selected and click it, and it should automatically apply to you.
perfect. Because I'm actually going to do the light spell instead.
And if we need to expand that list, guys, for like any kind of special lanterns or anything like that, just let me know.
I'll
There's
cast my
so
light on
much-
my shield.
There's so much light in here now.
It's blinding.
Just to add to it, Harmony lights produce flame.
Nice. Walk around with a little cup of flame in the hand.
We will definitely see where we are going.
All right. We're going down to the second floor.
I think that is where we are going.
Should
Or
we
we
knock
going
on Scar's
place
door
up?
first or second?
Yeah, let's say hi to Scar. Oops, I went the wrong way. Oh, hello, Scar.
As you make your way down there, Hugo, yes, you do indeed spot Scar off in the distance. You can't make him out real well based on your current lighting, but you see him sort of leaning against the wall, and as you say that, you see he turns and looks to you.
Oh, you're back. Why you keep come here?
We're going deeper into the Citadel, so we have to come. This is the way we come in.
Ah, deeper. You're all gonna die. That's gonna be funny.
Not funny for me.
You two puny, small, gonna get butts kicked.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, we fought you a couple times and didn't die, so.
And you see he does this and spits this big phlegm on the ground.
While Hugo's distracting him, Harmony is hurrying to his bedroom and wants to see if the door is locked or not.
Yes, you test the door, Harmony. Go ahead. And that should be working, but it looks like it's not, so let me go ahead and fix that real quick.
Harmony says to Sebastian, "Quick, help me ransack this place."
And you notice he nods towards you and says, we must do it quietly, though. You don't want a red giant coming behind us.
Use a what? What did he say?
Red giant.
Giant.
Yeah, he's the red giant. You know, he's the one with the tusks.
Yeah, we need to be fast. Do you want to take the bed or these disgusting things?
You see, he looks towards the bed. I will see. I was distressed and inspired. You can go ahead and take the bed. That's not new.
Okay, Harmony is going to search frantically and thoroughly.
All right, blind check as you do.
Scar, do you and Ushlax work together? You know Ushlax, right?
Yeah, of course, no Ushlax. Kind of small, twiggy, but has magic. Kind of tough. Tougher than you, at least.
Yes, yes. Have you always known him, or did you meet him here?
Always not. No, right here.
Harmony, as you're searching around, you don't spot much of interest hidden away in the clothing here, or the sheets, the different things that are lying here to make sort of a makeshift bed. You're kind of pulling it through. Again, really nasty, a lot of bugs that you find that just kind of scurry away from your touch. Really gross overall. You hear Sebastian kind of wincing as he starts to take the lid off the barrel and just goes, oh, and just puts it back really quickly. And then he starts peeking through this chest and he says, Harmony, look over here. There is some things. I'll just try to give all of this as much as we can.
What? I thought I checked that the last time I was in here.
If you remember, the last time you were in here, you saw some stuff and grabbed something quick as Scar was coming back. So you like grabbed something, but not everything.
All right. Well,
So-
let's take everything we can carry.
Looking inside, you are going to see some locks of hair, a few rings, some lockets, some shiny buttons, some odd talismans, what looks to be a bunch of coins from different lands around Anweir here, different domains. You can see minted in different faces of different leaders and so forth. A pair of fine gloves, and what all appears even to be a few holy symbols. I'll just give you the heads up to let you know that these are all considered to be treasure, and there's a total gold piece value associated with this, so don't worry about having to track each individual item. I will just assume you now have taken the jailer's treasure.
Just to clarify, the locks of hair are also considered treasure?
That's
They
90%
are.
of the value.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but yes, they seem to be very nice locks of hair, so think of this as almost like keepsakes, maybe, that you could sell to a collector.
Interesting. Cool. And I say, grab it. Let's get out of here quick.
All right, between the two of you, you collect all of this that you can, and then you notice Sebastian lowers the chest lid and says, yes, it's you. I would make sure we are not here when he comes back.
Yeah, I think that's our best bet. Harmony is going to shut the door behind her firmly to try to give the appearance of nobody having been in here.
Yes, feel free to do that. That button should work now.
Sebastian, should we go around this way to meet them?
Oh, yes, that's a good idea. I'll make sure. Can you peek ahead? We want to make sure we do not run into him.
He's in the room with the statue, so maybe we should go the other way.
Oh, yes, let's do that.
And Harmony's gonna say, Renaud, come on.
I think Renaud probably got there, and I guess did Scar notice?
You don't get the impression he did, because he's not really paying attention to you. You didn't make any sound. You didn't announce yourself. He seems to be focused on Hugo.
And they'll silently go back.
So, Scar, is it alright if we pass by here? I know we have this deal and everything.
You want to go back by here? Are you sure? I heard last time you guys were here, you got your asses kicked.
Oh, wait.
I thought we were
This-
going.
This isn't the right way. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, you're going to make it real far in the lower levels.
Alright. Well, you don't have to be mean about it. We're probably going to be seeing each other a bit now. So, if we see anything nice down there, should we pick it up for you?
If you find a lot of money and you want to hire yourself some muscle,
Oh, you work for coin.
yeah.
We'll keep that in mind. I don't think we can afford you right now, but alright. See you later, Scar.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. What's your rates? You got like a by the hour, by the day? How do you operate? You got a business plan, motto?
It
logo?
depends on what level you go to. I'll go to 2, what we say, about 50 gold for a day. But below 2, no, I don't think so.
Why not below 2? Is that place scare you?
Ushlocks tell stories. Doesn't sound fun.
Well, maybe we'll come back if we need the help.
Okay, yeah, you go now.
Maybe we should ask Ushlux what's on level 3.
Yeah, I mean, 50 gold might not be that much. Well, I guess it's only for a day, though. But all right.
This is the place.
Who wants to go in the front?
The trap. It might have come back.
Do you want me to try to disarm it? I got my thieves' tools. I could see if I could go in there and pry it, maybe. Yeah, I can give it a shot.
Elliot, Be on your toes, and he'll cast guidance on Elliot.
So I'll move here, and I'll get instructions on what it was last time, like if it was a pressure plate or whatever, and see if I can disarm it.
It's a double pressure plate. It's like two parts of it are connected. We think we disarmed at least one part, but you might want to double check.
The acid, it'll come and hit every stair. So we'll stay up here. The first switch is right at the bottom of the stairs. The second switch is right after the grate at the bottom.
All right. First switch, got it. Second switch. All right, Adam, I will take their instructions and see if I can test where they're talking about and see if I can disable those pressure plates, potentially.
All right, so based on that verbal description, I'm going to move us down to the second level. Everybody besides Elliot, you're not actually where you are right now, so don't worry. I'm assuming you guys are a little bit further up the circular staircase here to make sure you're not in any danger of this trap. But I will put Elliot on, and then he can navigate and decide what he wants to do from there.
And I know it says acid trap, but if it's got any kind of poison that would detect with poison and disease, I would be able to smell it if it's not blocked by any kind of cover.
You do not detect any poison or disease as you're making your way down the stairs.
You'll have to drag me out, Adam.
Yeah, I think I have 2 tokens on the screen.
You do indeed. There we go. I think you had 3, so I had to delete 2 of them over there. Renaud. Okay, let me get Renaud on there too. All right, hopefully Renaud, you can now see.
Good.
All right, so Elliot, you're beginning to descend the stairs. Again, your companions are actually not this close to you. Imagine them being another 20 feet or so up above. And you say, oh, the light's not working for you?
Yeah, no, it's just a big pool of blackness.
Well, that's because you're coming down a circular stair. Can you see anything at all besides your token?
Nope, just the token.
No kidding. Okay, hang on a sec. That's weird because it's showing that you have 20 light and 20 dim. You might need to refresh maybe because you should be able to see just a little bit. Actually, I'll move you one space closer, see if you can see more like that.
Well, I'm refreshing as we speak, so I'll let you know in just a moment. Yep, now I can see a little bit. Alrighty. You want to check from me, Adam?
So, what you're doing here is trying to inspect the ground and look for anything?
Well, he said that the first pressure plate was at the bottom of the staircase, and then there was another one that was beside the crate. So using the information that Grass gave me, I'm going to, before I get to the bottom of the staircase, see if I can find where the first pressure plate is and potentially disarm it.
All right,
I hope I described that right, because I'm going by memory. But yeah, the second one is past the grate. There's like a grate at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, great, not crate. Gotcha. But there's stuff on my map here. It's a big T square and then a red dot. So I'm assuming you guys have already mapped those out. So, but let's go at it.
Yeah, so blind check here. Yeah, and anybody that's stuck at the moment, don't worry, because as soon as you guys actually come down, I'll move you in the right spot.
All right, blind check coming now. Don't forget, I'm lucky.
All right, you search around this area looking for any kind of pressure plates, any traps, anything along those lines.
Oh, I got guidance too, don't I, here?
And yes, you find that at the bottom of the steps here, there is indeed a pressure plate.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Let's see. I've got my thieves' tools. I'm gonna see if I can maybe take like the file or one of the picks and run it underneath the pressure plate and see if I can find where the junction connects and if it's possible to disconnect it or completely remove it by pulling it upwards. But I want to see if I can disarm it completely.
Sure. So this will be a Thieves' Tools check for trying to disable this device. Go ahead and give me another blind check, and then just let me know whether or not you have... Actually, I don't think you have expertise, so no worries there. Let me know what stat you'd like to use, Dex or Int.
Yeah, I'm proficient with Thieves' Tools, so I will use my Dex, and here we go. Guidance is just a one and done, right? It's not
Correct.
or a full minute. All right, cool.
Okay, so as you're trying to disable this, Elliot, you realize that you're not successful in doing so. You feel like this is a bit beyond your skill level, but luckily your attempt to disable it does not set it off. So you realize you can't disable it, but you haven't caused any harm yet.
Well, I will, let's see. What do I have? I don't have anything that I could use. You know, Frederick took that chalk back in Baldur's Gate, and that would be great right now because I can mark the plate. But
Based
Elliot
on
or
what
not.
your companions have told you, you're pretty sure they know where this is.
All right, cool. Well, I'll call them all down, and I'll say, it doesn't look like I can disable it anyway, but we should be able to just, leap or have somebody get thrown over it. Or
right.
step.
Can you
Maybe-
tell if there's more acid?
Adam, it looked like the trap had reset, right?
Hard to tell since you weren't here when you saw it before. You assume this pressure plate is certainly active, though. So if there is more acid where this acid came from, then you think that triggering this plate would cause it to fall down.
Yeah, I believe that I don't know if the acid like reset, those grates there, so I assume maybe it, like resets every single time. It just absorbs the acid and uses it again, yada yada. But that pressure plate is definitely active, so avoid it.
All right. Well, I think I know it's super careful and all, but this thing really dumped a lot of acid on us last time. So maybe we all do it one at a time. The rest of us wait upstairs one at a time. You go through. At least that way, not everyone gets doused.
I'll make it even easier on you guys since you know where this is and you know exactly what to avoid. And we say you just hop over it, no risk of triggering it. Now, if you're in combat, that won't apply. But because you're out of combat and you have no risk failing here, feel free to just pass by.
And Renard also, I guess, like barreled through everyone and stepped over it.
Well, I guess I'll take back what I said if you intentionally want to set it off. But
Like a jump in
that
the
the
mud
way?
puddle.
Renan,
Gresk.
tell Elliot about the ink.
In the bar door here.
What about it?
Okay, wait. Was Elliot was not here when we fought the ink, right?
No.
Neither was Renard.
Oh no!
I don't remember that, no.
Right, something bad happened to Renaud's player that session. I'm missing it right now though.
What was it? What happened?
I think he had to his daughter had to sing.
Just confuse all of them together.
Hugo,
Yeah, what's up?
tell Elliot about the ink.
There was a desk up ahead, in this weird, like, it looks like they've got these big vats of something. Smells real bad in there, but there's a desk in there, and it had a little pot of ink, but the ink got knocked over or tipped over, and it turned into this big monster, like an ooze.
Hmm. Did the ink smell like what's in the vats? Did it have like a similar smell?
You can't smell them directly because the vats are sealed.
Mmm.
We haven't opened them up. But this is where I found those potions as well. This desk right here.
And Elliot, as you enter this room, as you have not experienced this yet, you can feel that there's sort of this real acrid feeling in the room, as though chemicals are sort of exposed to the air here. You kind of find yourself just kind of licking your tongue as it's starting to dry out, and it has this kind of off taste to it. You can just feel it on your tongue.
If I do a little sniff with my detect poison, can I pick anything up?
No, it does not seem to be poisonous or any kind of disease.
Yeah, we did that last time too. Took us a while to figure it out.
The ink on the table there.
And Grask, as you look at the table, you remember before that there was an ink vial there that you guys, as you were investigating the desk, it sort of on its own tipped over and dumped out, and that's what caused this creature issue. As you look there, you see the same ink vial with the same colored ink sitting upright.
Don't touch it. It's back.
Oh God. All right, back away from it. It's a trap of some kind, I believe. But one other thing we have to reveal to you. Last time, people heard voices coming from beyond the door directly across from the stairs. We barred the door, but we heard some sort of reaction to us.
Well, so what I gather is that some people live on this level, and they're doing something weird with ink. Yeah?
Yeah, just be careful, because, you know, there might be... I mean, I'm sure there's people, yeah. So, yeah, that's all.
Out of character for a sec, does anyone recall the exact trigger for the ink? Was it someone was looking at the table and touched it, or was near it?
I think Penn opened a drawer or touched something on the desk. But I don't know. I don't remember exactly what he did.
So I don't know if we should just be trying to sidestep it, or like grabbing it and just trying to yeet it like right into the vial.
And you remember those tanks there are sealed, so it's not you can't easily access the liquid with it.
Right, the image of the middle one has it cracked open.
Oh, a good call. I never even caught that. It does not say anything like that could randomly happen to the players while they're in here.
Are there any, like, spouts or spigots on the side of this vat, Adam?
You don't see anything like that. Let me give you the description since you haven't seen this one yet. 3 huge vats stand along the south wall of this chamber. Although the vats appear to be sealed and covered by clear crystal lids, the air is acrid. Your nostrils sting, your eyes water, and you want to cough. The vats are linked by a complex web of hoses and tubes that gurgle and pulse as foul-looking bubbles and smears of slime trickle through them. The equipment makes this room resemble a distillery, a poisonous, rusted, cruft-encrusted distillery. A desk is pushed against the north wall between the 2 doors. Writing implements are neatly arranged on it, unless the group already took those.
Did we take the writing implements? Everybody? Is the journal still on there?
The journal they definitely took.
Have we read it?
Yeah, I think I was reading it on the way out of here. I don't remember what it said, though,
I
fortunately.
think in the bar too you were looking at it, right?
I think we forgot about it when this episode started.
I do remember Hugo reading it when we first met Grady. That's what he was doing at the table.
Yes.
So what I'll tell you is that as you're looking at this book, and if you spent any time with it, you realize that none of this writing is intelligible. It's filled with columns and rows of numbers and alchemical symbols in different colors. But no level of knowledge or expertise would allow you to discern what this says. It almost looks like maybe this is a personal code that somebody has created, and really only they would know it.
In some kind of cipher.
What do you think would happen if I cut some of those hoses and tubes?
We might get covered in slime. I wouldn't do that yet, just because we don't know what it is.
Yeah, but maybe if we're trying to lure them to us instead of walking into their trap, maybe it will make them come our way, investigate what happened.
Yeah, that's true. Possibly.
Does it look like the tubes or the hoses go into like the wall and connect to another room, maybe, Adam? Or does it look like the distillery is all contained within the room?
There's a lot going on here. You feel like maybe if you studied this for a period of time, you might be able to draw some conclusions. But on a glance, no, you don't notice anything that like goes to other rooms. You obviously do notice the grates underneath the vats, though. Hard to say. But like I said, if you want to study it for a period of time, you might be able to draw some conclusion.
Not with that inky bottle in the room, because it sounds like that's what killed Corin, so Elliot's going to try to avoid that.
Oh no, Corin died on level 1. You're totally fine here.
The
As we
undead
just
dragged him down.
As we just hopscotched over an acid trap, yep.
Yeah, so the session where Corin died, we tried to go the path we normally go. Got the absolute crap beat out of us and had to run. Corin got left behind. Then we came down here, lost most of our health to the acid trap, came into this room, got beat up by the ink, and then left. So, like, this room is the furthest we've been on level 2.
Yep.
We didn't even explore this room beyond the little bit of desk that we looked at before the desk itself came to life and started to beat us up, ink style.
For the record, we got surrounded on the first floor, and that's why Corin died. We didn't abandon him.
You guys think that maybe we should try to purposely take out that ink? So it's not behind us? And we don't have to tiptoe every time we come down here?
The thing is, we destroyed it.
We already killed it.
Well,
So
that's creepy.
somebody's putting it back or doing something.
The monster's come back. I'm pretty
Just
sure
don't
Trevor
touch
did.
don't touch the desk.
All right, well,
Yeah,
which way am I going? Are we going down this hallway or through this door here?
Check the hallway.
Looks clear. Oh, nope. Never mind.
Elliot,
There's
as you
something
step
down there.
down here and look to your south, you notice a small flying creature. As you didn't declare you're trying to move stealthy or anything like that, I'll assume you sort of stepped out more trying to notice what you can see rather than trying to avoid detection. It turns its head and looks towards you, and then it looks back in the other room. There's somebody else down here, lady!
So there's something there, some lady. She saw me, or it saw me. Yep.
Good, you have lured them to us. Listen, do you hear anything? That's Renaud saying you should make a perception check because his is terrible.
Well, alright. I'm gonna try to point my shield in like this direction so it's not just blatantly giving off light, and see if I can listen down into the hallway and see if I can hear him talking about anything else, Adam.
Sure.
I'm gonna cast the protection from good and evil on Grask from my bloodline ability.
Sure, yeah, go ahead and spend that. And Elliot, you can give me a blind check as you step up, trying to remain out of sight as you listen down.
Armney's gonna whip up some good berries.
Sounds pretty quiet, Elliot. You don't hear anything else out of the ordinary except for the sound of your companions casting spells behind you.
Well, you guys weren't necessarily super quiet with that, but I don't hear anything else, so they're probably just waiting on us.
They didn't try to kill us right away.
No.
Since they know we are here, let me try something. Pardon me, Elliot. Bonjour. Hello. We do not wish to fight you if that is what you are wondering. Hello?
As you call down, you hear from the other room, they're trying to talk to me. I don't know why. They must think I'm in charge or something.
Well, not really, but I just wish to start a dialogue before we started killing each other.
Okay, I'll tell him. She said she's busy, and get out of here, because you're gonna ruin the experiment.
Does she mind if we explore other areas besides the one that she is in?
Okay, I'll ask her. Don't throw it at me. Just go. She don't care. Go.
All right, thank you. Have a good day. And
We just walk by him, or
I think there are other doors here. Perhaps we just go one of those directions first.
How do we know they won't kill us?
They may, but it seems like they are in the middle of something right now, so I think they are too busy to bother with us.
Another perception check there, Blind Elliot. You hear no obvious sounds through the door.
can I gently kind of pull on the handle? Is it locked?
It is not locked.
Oh, we can go this way.
Sounds good.
Hugo, Harmony,
Yeah.
catch up.
Oh, this room is not very pleasant. Smells very bad.
Sebastian, be careful of that desk. I think everyone was worried about the bottle on it.
Okay.
Your accent seems to have gotten thicker since I've met you.
I've got a theory that Sebastian was born English, and this is his curse, and eventually he will lose the gift of language.
He took the feet for a flaw thing at the very beginning of the game.
It's a very deep cut lore. We'll see if you guys pick it up eventually. All right, Elliot, you start making your way through this hallway.
All right, I'm gonna kind of squat down into a more quiet moving position now that I know that there's a population on this level, Adam, and I'm gonna start trying to move forward a little quietly while I'm scouting ahead.
Okay, fair enough.
I know I still have light on me, but I'm gonna kind of point to the room in front of us and like wave everybody up. Can I smell anything, Adam? Based on what I'm seeing in that room, does anything pop to my detect poison and disease?
No, but you still get this sort of sensation of this acrid odor in the air.
Looks like maybe one of those ladies' experiments didn't go so well in this one. There's another desk back there with some stuff on it.
Adam, can I look at the ceiling? Make sure there's no more of those things to drop acid on all of us anywhere?
You didn't really spot where the acid came from in the first place, but yes, go ahead and give me a blind check, Hugo, to see if you spot anything out of the ordinary that would make you concerned about a trap or falling acid.
And Adam, did you say that was like a fog in there, or is that like the coating on the ground, the green?
That is coating on the ground.
All right.
No, you don't spot anything out of the ordinary, Hugo, that would give you any cause for concern.
Well, if we're worried about whatever that coating is, I could. There is a spell that I know where I am able to conjure a unseen spirit who we could send into the room to look through the desk for us, or we can just go in.
Well, whatever that is not poisonous or diseased in any way, but that doesn't mean it won't eat through your boots.
Oh, that's a good time to bring up that one of the potions that I got from the desk is a potion of acid resistance.
It's a perfect time to bring that up, actually.
It might be very useful in here.
Alright, so Hugo pulls it out, holds it up.
Well, whoever drinks it is gonna go search that desk. You want to draw straws?
What should we test to make sure it's acid first? Throw like a coin into it or something?
I'll take out a stick of incense, and toss that into the room. I'll actually cast Mage Hand, and then I'll use the Mage Hand to drop it or like kind of swirl it around in the coating. Testing swab style.
Oh, now you're testing my scientific knowledge. So what I will say is you do that, whether it dissolves the incense stick or not, you are able to determine that this liquid on the ground is indeed acidic in nature.
I think that will definitely be an issue if we go in. Yeah, this is strange. Does anyone have any ability to neutralize acid? Who brought the baking soda?
Ain't got any baking soda, but we got all those cloth pouches. You know, we could just put those over a couple of our shoes and run in there real quick.
We do have a lot of cloth patches.
Look, I can try. I'm small and quick. Maybe I can make my way in between the dry spots and the wet spots. But
What do we even want in that room?
information.
There's a desk there that could have more treasure or, yes, information.
There's a little offshoot over there on the eastern side of the room as well, so maybe there's more, but we're here to find treasure and other things, right? So it's kind of what we're here to do.
We could come back here though and explore further without. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, a
That's
little
just-
meta here, guys, but if you're willing to get like at least another square closer, so not in the green, I can give you the room description that may help a little bit to see what you're seeing in there.
Perhaps I will step forward and we will see. Elliot, come join me.
All right, fair enough. So as you guys get a little bit closer there, an acrid stinging sensation in your nostrils and mouth alerts you the air ahead is laced with corrosive fumes. 2 stone vats, each about 7 feet tall, flank the corridor. Rusted ladders are attached to their sides, although the bolts holding them together appear badly corroded. A noxious green viscous fluid seeps out of one tank and covers much of the floor. A wooden desk pushed against the wall tilts oddly. Its front legs, which are in the goop on the floor, are noticeably shorter than the legs closer to the wall. A chair that once sat in front of the desk lies in pieces on the floor.
Yeah, obviously on the desk in the picture we see some things, but do we see anything from our position? Anything on the desk? Papers, journal, black inky bottle?
Nothing that looks obvious to grab your attention.
Can we tell if the table has drawers?
From here, it does not appear so.
Hugo,
Yeah, what's up?
you can pull things with your mind. Pull the desk.
I think I've only done it on creatures. I can do a little bit with just my mind, but if it weighs too much, I won't be able to pull it.
Grask, you think you could throw me on top of the table from here?
Absolutely. But maybe not safely.
I'll do my telekinetic mage hand and try to pull the desk. It's just mage hand though, so if it weighs more than like 10 pounds or something, it doesn't work.
Yep, the desk does weigh more than 10 pounds, and it doesn't look like it moves.
What about the things on the desk?
Well, wait, Renaud, you can do the mage hand thing too. What if both of you pulled?
We can try that. Also, I could summon my servant, and perhaps with all three, we could.
Or you could take the hands over and then tie a knot on a rope, and then we can pull the desk that way.
As soon as you say that, he's pulling his rope out. We'll have to be careful not to get it on the acid.
Yeah, that's fine, but I do want Grass to throw me sometime soon. So let's keep that in our plans.
That will be a good idea. Yes.
Plan 2A.
Got it.
All right. Well, I was trying to see where a epically appropriate moment to end the session was going to be, but I don't think even I can spend tying a rope really epically. So why don't we go ahead and end it here, guys, and we'll pick up next week and see what the group gets up to from there.
All right.
Good
It might
session,
be.
everybody.
It might be epic if there's another ink ooze thing on the table when we.
That I can tell you there's not. So otherwise, of course, that's what I would have went with, right?
Yeah.
Hooray!
All right, fun session, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot more RP this time than combat, but you guys are in the thick of the Scarlet Citadel, so once we come back next week, of course, I am anticipating us having quite a bit of more action, let's say. So yeah, I hope you guys had a good time, and we'll see everybody next week.
See y'all. Had a good one. Thanks.
Yeah.
Take it easy, everybody.